It's working.
You wanna?
What's up, y'all?
Are you able to get on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, most people I told tune in on Facebook. See if I can mute my phone there.
That's not what I wanted to do. I want to view the page here.
Oh yeah, I got it.
You got it?
Sure do.
Wow, dude, that's cool. That's pretty wild.
Oh yeah. Quality's pretty good too.
So normally we'll pull up our comments right here and just kind of read it off the screen. This is a whole new setup this week for like everybody watching. Like I invested in some software on the computer. So we're broadcasting to YouTube right now. We're broadcasting to Twitch. We're on Facebook and we're on Instagram. Yeah, you can go on Facebook and share it to your profile. And we're really cool. I'm live off my GoPro. I'm not using a phone anymore, which is pretty cool. Lots of good stuff going on. So the upgrades are pretty sick. There's Evan tuning in. What's up? What's up, Gibbs?
What's up, Evan?
Hippie Gibbs. Oh man.
All right. Got a little bit of traffic on here now.
Let's see if I can.
All right, folks. So while we're getting everything set up and we're getting tuned into the show here, what we're going to do tonight is, without further ado, on your right side of the screen, here's the man, the myth, the legend himself, Riverboat Rob, the star of the Maryland Bass Fishing Series.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite YouTube series when it comes to fishing because it's close, it's local. Rob will, you see Rob out there. Rob talks to you. Rob's an awesome dude, and Rob can catch them. I will say with complete confidence, if not the best fisherman on the Gunpowder, Rob is probably number 2, and that's on a bad day. So, and I'm not trying to inflate your ego, my bro. I'm not trying to inflate your ego, man. That's serious stuff right there.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of wins in the Thursday night series last year with some really, really nice fish. And the one time we did get a chance to fish together, we had a pretty awesome
we
day.
smashed them.
We definitely whacked them a little bit.
Yeah, we had a good night that evening, man.
So tonight we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about when you should retie, all kinds of other stuff like that. We're going to talk about.
The answer is always.
Yeah, the answer is always.
The
We're
answer
going to
is
talk
always.
about. Right. We're going to talk about where we fished today. I'm going to give a little bit of my tournament recap last week and some adjustments I made and where I fell short and where it cost me, and it did dearly cost me. So learn from my mistakes, learn from the things that I did right, and hopefully you guys should be able to take away from this. But this should be a really informative, really good episode tonight. It should be a really awesome one, and we're excited to have Rob here. We have a package. We have a package here as well. I kind of want to do that first.
Check it out.
Oh yeah, it's a care package. It's like better than Christmas.
The care package. So we got a big care package from one of our big supporters, Bass Munitions, and he sent us over some goodies, and we're gonna get into that. We're gonna be doing some bait reviews and some bait testing on these baits, and we got a lot of content to bring you guys. So we might as well get started. Check out what we got here.
Ooh. There's a lot of worms in there. So
We got
Chad's
a
going
lot
to
of
show
worms
you
in
some of
here,
the
baby.
pictures, and I'm going to read the write-up on these baits.
Well, I see my brother on there. I got to show him these real quick. They got the pink, Pete. If you ain't catching them, throw the pink.
Don't sleep on the pink.
Don't sleep on the pink. My brother will tell you. He'll be the first one to tell you.
Never sleep on the pink.
So these bad boys right here are made by Bass Munitions. They are called the Holston ST and/or Little Green Worm. All right.
The little green worm.
So the 5-inch Holston ST straight tail worm came in around 2014 after Berkeley discontinued their 4-inch finesse worm. Bait took off like a rocket in South Holston Lake in northeast Tennessee, which for those of you that don't know, South Holston Lake is a hammer smallmouth lake. So if you're a smallmouth fisherman, you got to get you some of these. All right. This bait became the little green worm and is the most popular in green pumpkin. And it is the most popular bait that Bass Munitions makes. It's best fished on the lightest line possible. The gentleman who makes them uses 6 to 8 pound per 7 pound sniper on a 1/0 grip. drop shotting it, throw it up to the bank and work it back slowly anywhere as deep as 20 foot of water. The second most popular way to fish it is on a shaky head, and my phone just went off for a second. Wait, oh dear, what happened to Google?
While you're looking for that, I will say any color worm is good as long as it's green pumpkin.
Yeah. Putting the secrets out there now. So is it just green pumpkin with black flake? Can you have red flake in there?
Any green pumpkin worm will work.
All right, so let me try
that color.
I'm going to try to get my Gmail back up here, but it's giving me some issues. But basically, a long story short, I've used these worms a lot. I use them a lot in college, and I like them on a drop shot. And I'm telling you right now, they catch them. Like, you will put some fish in the boat on these worms. I lost my PB smallmouth at Conolingo on this. I don't know how big it was. I know it was bigger than 4.5, might have been 5, and it was on one of those pink ones. So they definitely work. They get bit. All right, to pick up where we left off here. The second most popular way to fish these baits is on a shaky head, kind of like a finesse, and then obviously a drop shot. Bait comes in tons of colors, as you can see here.
What kind of shaky head, like hook do you think you use? Like a net hook almost?
No, I would say like a smaller shaky head, probably like a 1 or 2-aught. Just something light, you know what I mean? Because the bait's not very heavy. So like Mr. Larry, who makes these baits, was saying, you gotta go light line, stuff like that. But bait comes in tons of colors. If you check out Bass Munitions website, you'll see that. He says here he will make it for customers in any color they want, even if it's not listed. So if you want a specific color, email Bass Munitions, and they will make you a custom color for this.
Colors.
All right?
Look at that.
Bait comes
Yeah.
12
like peanut butter jelly going on there.
Right, that's actually my favorite color. But 12,
you know what I mean?
12 worms,
black and blue flake.
12 worms per pack, and it's retails for $5.40. I mean, find a better deal. So like we always talk about Bass Munitions, it's awesome. The bait comes in a 12 count bag, $5.40, 50 count bag for $22, and you could get 100 of these worms for $35. He also always has a buy 2 get 1 free promo through the entire website. Promo code Spring Sale. Spring Sale, no caps, no space.
Spring sale, no caps, no space.
If you spend over $100 on the website, free shipping. Easy to reach him, bassmunitions@gmail.com, or give him a phone call, 561-310-1970. And Bass Munitions is going to be making all popular kinds of jig heads and lead tackle here coming soon, so keep an eye out for that. But we are super excited to toss these around. I know for a fact I'm going to be throwing some of them tomorrow in the tournament.
This is like, he's got like this tangerine.
It's
or something.
every color you can imagine.
There's every color you can imagine laying here right now.
What's that really bright, vibrant? So there's chartreuse.
Ooh, that's
there's
that color is
one.
fire
It's
right
got
there.
veins.
Let's see what, I think it's methiolite.
Yeah, there you go.
So let's see.
Methiolite.
Yep, that's it. And then actually the colors are right on the back of the package.
That's a hot color in any kind of soft plastic is methiolite.
That's any kind of stained water, or sometimes even clear. Like methiolite's a worm that just works.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on these for the smallies, boys.
No, definitely do not. That's what this bait was designed to catch smallmouth. So if you're a smallmouth fisherman and you're looking for something to throw in a drop shot that not everybody has, this is what you want to throw. Like I said, I have used these Smith Mountain Lake, Lake Clayer Lake, Lake Moomaw, lots in Virginia, and I'm telling you right now, they will catch them. So definitely pick some up, and they're really good baits.
How do they get them? Where do they get them from?
So bassmunitions.com. Email bassmunitions@gmail.com if you want a specific color, but Bass Munitions, just look them up. The website will take you right to it. And
I got me a pack already.
And we're going to include some of these in the giveaway. Speaking of which, we have everything that we need now for the giveaway. So stay tuned for that. We're going to include some of these in there.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to include some UMA crankbaits. We're going to include some tailored horse frogs in there as well. So for those of you guys that are lucky enough to win the giveaway, it's going to be pretty freaking awesome.
It's going to be a great giveaway, everybody. Don't sleep on any of this stuff. This stuff is fire. I'll tell you what, I'm definitely wishing I was eyeing up, where's that black and blue flake at? Oh, so many colors of the rainbow. We've got black and blue flake in here, and I think maybe we would have got on some more smallies today with these.
I'm gonna have to borrow definitely a couple packs of these for tomorrow.
I think so.
So, but yeah, I mean, these worms are awesome. They work well. I mean, they really work well. And when I was using these worms, I was a much less caliber of a fisherman than I am now, and I caught them on these. So if that says anything, hopefully it does. But definitely pick up some. The price is right. The worms work, and you're supporting a great cause. So definitely check them out.
Absolutely. So what was one of the other topics we wanted to get into tonight? We're going to talk about, obviously, it's Friday evening, getting ready for some tournaments going on tomorrow.
Yep.
And there's maintenance, man. I need to start, before I even start like preaching to the choir or anything, I need to freaking do my own maintenance more. And the reason I'm preaching this tonight is because I've just had multiple failures this year that is just due to being lazy, not changing, not retying my knots enough, not retying my leaders, not retying my baits after a handful of fish. And I don't know what the specific number is, but if you really want to be safe, every fish I feel like is excessive, but definitely, have 3-4 fish, man, you should be checking out your line, getting ready to retie that knot, maybe double that number, retie your leader. But I think maintenance is important for failures.
1,000%, because what do you got to lose? You know
Fish,
what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
a couple inches of line, a couple seconds of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or lose that fish
Right.
of a lifetime. That
The
I
fish-
lost my personal best. I lost it. I had like a spinner bait, caught him on spinner bait. It was tied on my rod for probably like 2 weeks. Hooked him, lost him. Took me a couple seconds to retie.
You got that
Just
one.
what happened.
They got that one on one of the videos.
I got it on the video. You see me crying at the end, mad as hell.
Yeah.
Retying would have prevented that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even re-stringing too. Like changing your string is more important than people think. It really is. You got to change
twice
the
a
line.
season or once a season?
So at first I was once a season.
Yeah.
But lately I'm trying to do it even more than that. Honestly. It's expensive.
It's just really expensive to do.
So I do like my go-to. So like everybody has like go-to baits. You there's certain 2 or 3 baits
Confidence
you're
baits.
going to throw. You got to restring those rods.
Mhm.
The other ones maybe you can let it go for a
Right.
second. Those rods, the first ones you pick up and throw most of the day. Day by night you might switch to something else. But those rods you gotta keep those nice and fresh line on them and a nice fresh knot on them.
Paul, are you saying you change your line out before every tournament?
I believe that Paul Batters probably does. Before we all even get up in the morning, Paul's got all his rods changed.
Sure.
Probably. That's probably why he catches them all.
Lou logs on. What's going on, Lou?
Try to beat Paul to a tournament one day.
Right.
It's like 4 hours before he's supposed to be there, Paul.
But I think it's definitely like in terms of retying, I would say it depends on a lot of factors. If you look at your line and it's all screwed up, then obviously you want to retie. But like for me personally, I do a lot of finesse fishing, especially up on Conalingo, 6 to 8 pound test. Any fish that's going to be a keeper 2-3 pounds and above, I'll probably retie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Almost every fish.
Yeah.
Now if I'm out on the bay and I'm throwing 17, 15, 20 pounds and I catch a couple, I'll probably leave it unless I can see abrasions on the line and some memory starting to form. But I haven't really broken off on a lot of fish this year. None that I think were big enough to help me in the tournament. So I've been lucky. But like Rob said, what do you got to lose? I mean, the only thing you got to lose is the next fish, and you never know how big the next one's going to be.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't want to lose it just because you didn't want to take time to retie.
Yeah. We got Nick Rogers logged on. What's going on, Nick? How's it going, man? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I think it is super important, man. I'm telling you right now, not half my arsenal. That's like saying too much, but a lot of my videos I have saved on my card is literally of breaking off.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I save the videos just for like content, but like, dude, I go through and I find something that's like break off. But whether it's a rock or a log or not, whatever it is, a couple of them have been fish.
Yeah, your line wants to break easy when you got big fish, but get hooked on a log, see how easy it is to break it.
Yeah,
Right.
God,
It's always like that.
Yeah.
Always like that.
So it's just like, and here recently, I got a perfect example. We were fishing on Monday.
Mhm.
I want a grass flat, and I was throwing one of my Mike Buca soft tail wake baits. I whipped this thing out there, started pulling it.
Oh, yeah.
And this was literally nothing. This thing tagged onto a piece of hydrilla or milfoil, and I just went to go pull it out, and it broke the leader, and it didn't break the leader knot. It actually, the braid was frayed right above the double uni knot that I use, and the bait just gone. And I was like, oh my God. Now, luckily this bait floats. Now it was blowing like freaking 25 that day. It was freaking rough.
Right.
And we went over there and we found it floating and I got it back, but it was like that rod had been sitting there for so long and I had not used it.
I'm
And
still
it just,
memorized by all the lures sitting. Is that a shower blow right there in the middle?
whoa. You can't be saying that on public internet right
That's a
now.
secret. Like you don't know about that bait, then you don't know. If you do, you do. It was like sitting in front of my face. I can't help it. I'm a lure junkie.
Yeah, it might be.
He's tell you, man, he's got baits everywhere.
Freaking lure addict, man. It's freaking, I'm into it. I love it, man.
So,
Wow.
What kind of knot do you use just tying on normally? Not with a leader. I'm just saying when you tie it on.
so 90% of the time, it's not a W. It's a Palomar knot.
That's what I
90%
use
of
a
the time.
Palomar.
Yep.
Now, when I flip and pitch, I will go to a Snell exclusively. But the only time I'm ever really not tying a Palomar knot on anything other than a flipping bait is on like an open eye buzz bait or a spinner bait, and then I'll throw
Because it'll slide
my standard improved clinch knot.
on the what they call it on spinner bait.
Can you give me one of those orange beers, sir?
Of course, man.
Thank you.
But you got to be careful even with that though, because like you got to really make sure when you fish a buzz bait and stuff, you're going to use an improved clinch knot.
Sponsored by Bud Light Orange.
Yeah, boy.
When you
Right in the line.
use that improved clinch knot with braid, it will slip. So you got to be very careful. What I like to do is I like to leave at least an inch of tag in when I tie that with like buzz baits. Really, it's a buzz bait thing. That way, if I do set the hook and there's some slippage, I have a little bit of leeway to not just rip off, because it seems like every time I'm really confident in my knot and I try to cut it as close as I can with the knot, and I set the hook on a fish, particularly on a buzzbait, I end up breaking off.
Yeah.
So
I heard like you can look at a Palomar knot, right? When you tie I think it was Matt Payne, right?
Double line uni.
And you can tell when it's wrong. When you tie a Palomar knot, like you ever have one of those where you just cast it out and just flies off?
Mhm.
So according to Matt Pangrat, you can actually look at a Palomar knot and see if it's tied right. Look, apparently if it twists one way or the other and then you pull it tight, it'll snap off like that.
Really,
I don't know. I never noticed it, but I use a Palomar knot 100% of the time.
my issue with the Palomar knot is sometimes when you have these hooks that have not quite a completely closed eye, is one of the loops when you loop it around will get caught in there.
Right.
It can mess with the knot. So that's just something to be
I think
careful
that maybe
about.
that's what he was talking about. Because you visually see it.
Oh yeah.
So I'm a little older, so my eyes are going up, so I can visually see shit. Right. So
I have a lot of the split rings fuck with my knots sometimes.
yeah.
I have a lot of the split rings will screw with my knots if you're not careful. Like you got to pay attention to that. You think you got a tight knot, but it's really looped halfway around the damn split ring.
I'm pretty sure that's kind of what he was getting at in the Palomar knot, but like way back, like maybe like 1992. I'm sure my age. Hank Parker had a show. You remember Hank Parker's Outdoors?
Mm-hmm.
And he had a thing. The Palomar knot's 99% as strong as the line.
Right.
So once I saw that, ever since then, I've been a Palomar knot guy.
Yeah. No, I
kinda
definitely
stick with it.
I like a Palomar a lot because
Yeah.
this the way it's designed is there's no way that knot's ever going to come untied. No matter how much that will break before. If the knot will break, like the line will break before that comes on.
Right,
Just
yeah.
because it goes all the way around the bait. Whereas even a really well tied, improved clinch with that sudden tension, it can slip a little bit.
And the Palomar knot's quick and easy to tie. Too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to reiterate also on retying your knots, a lot of times when you retie your knot, it's not so much the knot as much as you should also snip an inch or two of your line off when you do it. I am one of those people. I think that you get line stretch, you get fray close to your knot and stuff like that. Your knot might not fail. Your line will break. You should cut a couple inches, get to some more fresh line, and then retie your knot. And I think you have a more secure knot at that point. It's not always just the knot failure.
That's true.
You know.
Now, do you use super glue?
No, I don't, and I would like to
I don't
start
use it either.
because I might. So, like, you guys are tackle junkies, right? I'm more of like, me personally. I think a jig is a jig, but I think what your trailer is the most important part of that.
Well, yeah.
So I'm a big believer in, like, if my jig trailer is in any way, shape, or form not doing what I want it to do.
Certain
it's gone.
jigs come with different hooks. They come with thicker trailers, thinner trailers, longer trailers, shorter trailers,
And like
Not only that, but
skirts.
It's like we were talking about earlier. Let me run it by Tony real quick. So you come into a grass bed, big matted grass bed, say on the GP, and you throw in a frog. Well, you know that everybody's been throwing a frog there.
Right.
Every kayaker, everyone has been thrown, but somehow you can still catch them on a frog. It's because different frog presentation. What do you think?
Presentation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
So you don't. The frog makes no difference, probably.
No.
Which sometimes I kind of agree with that.
And
I
Paul,
agree with that.
and I know Paul's on here, so Paul
Yeah.
will tell me, or Paul might agree. I hope he agrees, but I definitely think fishing a frog is probably my strongest.
Paul said he super glued his hand to his ear one time. No, he doesn't. I mess with Paul.
Super glue all. Paul did say he super glues all the leader knots.
Paul's like, super glue.
I've actually never heard that. Super glue the leader knots. That's interesting. I kind of like that.
Well, all the knots, right? Because it just makes it stronger.
Oh, you're talking about super gluing the knot.
Yeah. You just.
I thought you were talking about the baits.
No, you get super glue on the knot.
Okay.
To make it stronger.
I've never heard that. That's
I never
actually-
done it, but I know people do it.
Right.
Greg Hall says he uses a Alberto.
Oh, it's different comments on there.
So the
Yeah,
Alberto.
so we have Instagram down
Oh, we
here on
gotta
this
do it like
one,
this.
and then this is a combination of
I
all
see.
three platforms at the time. Yeah,
So
so some different
the,
stuff going on.
the Alberto knot, if I'm not mistaken, is a line to line knot. So it's like your main line to leader knot. Basically, the difference between like the FG, the Alberto, and the double uni is certain people just think one, they can tie one better. I think whatever the best leader knot is the one that you can tie the best, and I'll take that to the bank. I don't think
That's kind of my thing. The easiest knot to tie, that's good and works. That's what I do.
like I know how to tie an Alberto knot. I know how to tie an FG, but tomorrow if I break a leader off, I'm not going to tie that because I know I can tie a double uni really, really well, and I rarely break them. And if I do
Right.
break them, it's on something stupid like a cast or something just dumb. So
All right, so we got a lot of things going on in the comments right now.
Well,
And apparently, I'm going to have to start super gluing all of my leader knots because it has been
Yeah.
quite popular in the comments.
No,
and I'm always down to trying to. This is what this is all about.
I've never done
You
this.
know what I'm talking
I've never
about?
done that.
I will definitely try. So
Start making knots
Rogers.
stronger.
Nick Rogers also says I throw Alberto. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, Alberto.
Alberto
I
knot,
believe.
For my leader knot with super glue, I've had it break once because of a braid fray.
Right.
Dude's going after hammer snake heads. It's very important to have good
Yeah.
knots and good line when
Well,
you're going for snake heads.
Martin Payne said FG is the only leader knot, which I have heard that FG is the knot.
I need to learn FG. We
Yeah,
talked
that's
about
right.
this a couple weeks ago, and I still have not taken the time to actually learn the FG.
I think Paul
Well, I
just
should.
backed up. There.
Yeah, Paul said
Paul
FG
just,
knots.
Yeah.
Paul just backed that up.
Yeah. I think that, I'm pretty. I like my double uni knot.
I love my W.
It's just one I can just tie it on the fly at this point
You're
now.
surprised I don't use leaders.
Really?
No.
But you don't. But do you finesse fish very often
I
now?
don't know.
Right. So there you go. Now,
I don't.
well,
I'm a power fisherman.
Right.
Like, straight power fish. I'm a
Yeah.
flipper, spinner bait, top water guy.
So you're not running a leader even if you're flipping with a jig or
No,
a Texas
no.
rig?
I don't do that.
Mm-mm. So here's the thing. Back in the day, back when I fished, there was no leaders. Like we threw straight braid or monofilament.
Yeah.
There wasn't before freaking fluorocarbon came out. We didn't use them, and it didn't matter then. So I never switched over. It's like we're
Well, hey,
you know what I mean?
if it
Yeah.
works, why change it?
Yeah,
It ain't broke.
exactly. That's how I felt. But I'm not a finesse fisherman at all. Like, if I really got to, I will. if I have to, but like throwing a drop shot makes me want to shoot myself in the face.
See, tomorrow, like, Chad, how long, what did I throw 99% of the day today?
A memory.
Exactly.
Well, lucky for me, it balances out because Evan, what up, Evan? He's more of a finesse fisherman than I am, and I'm a power fisherman. So we kind of balance out.
Right, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
You
what I
know,
mean?
sometimes that can becomes challenging because I feel like finesse fishermen a lot of times are moving a lot slower, and the power fishermen are kind of, you're covering a lot more water.
So we're kind of on like doing our thing till we find a fish and we find what they're biting, and then we'll both jump on the same thing. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
so like
Yeah.
I also agree with that setting.
Yeah.
Like me and Steve will run that a lot. I'll have him. A lot of times we'll start out with a double power fishing method though. Like I'll have
That's kinda
Toby
how we
throwing
do
a
it.
crankbait and I'll throw a spinnerbait or something.
Right,
like
yeah.
that. And then if none of that's working, then you start.
I'll get the flipping and he'll get the finessing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it goes
Yeah.
after that. Yeah, that's 1,000% true. I got to say what's up to Dan and Pete and Luis. What's up, man? Thanks for checking it out.
Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in to Bass and Beer.
That's some buddies of mine. They outfish me every time we go. I'm working. I'm gonna get y'all.
But to your point earlier about the frog, like me personally, I have a lot of confidence in a frog. That's kind of my thing. Like this time, it's a little early, but this time of year through really when it starts cooling off at the end of September, I don't care where I'm fishing. I threw a frog today for a little while. Like I will have a frog on because I usually like when I catch them on a frog, they're good ones, and I usually don't have a lot of them miss a frog. And this is actually a really good transition into last weekend in the tournament because and before I even start, congrats to Martin. Chad manifested it. I don't know why.
Boy.
Chad,
Come on, Martin.
I don't know why.
Let's
Chad
go,
would,
boy. I have faith in you.
I don't know why he would manifest Martin wins the tournament instead of his co-host. But anyway, so good job, Martin, for the win.
Felt it in the air. Felt it in the air. It was just there.
I think that's
He's
Martin's,
still mad about it.
I can tell.
I think that's Martin's first win as a voter, so that's a huge milestone. Especially in our club, Outcast. There's some serious sticks in that club.
Absolutely.
Like to win a tournament in that club is a huge deal, especially as a voter.
Where was the
So,
last
great
week? Where'd you guys fish?
We were up at Tidings, so we fished the flats.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to go through a little bit about the adjustments that I made over the water. Maybe you guys have similar stories. But so we got to the first spot, and it's early. We always launch early. Of course, what's the first thing I pick up? Frog, right? Because why would you not? Third or fourth cast, I get a blow up, set the hook, frog flies out. Okay, well, it's a frog. It's going to happen. And in the next 5 minutes, I missed 2 more blow ups on a frog. I'm like, this is not freaking okay.
Right.
This is not cool, man. So my rider, Greg, who he had a limit. We actually both brought 5 fish to the dock, which is awesome. You don't really get to do that a whole lot. Greg said, hey, I wonder if a pop bar would work. And I think before he finished that sentence, I was tying one on. And within the second or third cast of the pop bar, I had my keeper. Now, here's the interesting thing is those are the kind of adjustments that can really save you. And the reason I say that is I caught 4 of my keepers on a pop bar. Greg caught, I think, 3 of his 5 on a pop bar as well. And here's the thing. Every single fish that we caught on a pop bar, this is a bad example because it's got 3 hooks, but let's pretend this.
We're not allowed to show that bait. We already
Yeah, I know,
know.
you're sticking like juice up in
Pretend
there.
this is a pop bar. Right? Pretend this is a pop bar. Every fish.
That's even more juice.
Do you have a pop bar? Every fish that we caught on the pop bar.
It says pop bar. I don't know why it says it's a popper.
No, but is that a pointer? That's a pointer.
That's a big bass Levant.
I got you.
Every fish that we caught on a pop bar had the front treble just inside the corner and the rear treble on one of the cheeks, left to right, didn't matter. Every single fish that we caught like that was caught in that exact way.
Let me ask you something, Tony. Why do you think they went to pop bar instead of frog?
I don't think they were actually eating it. I think they were just slapping it.
Yeah.
And the thing is like a lot of times you can just kind of tell with a frog when they're really eating it good.
Yeah.
The tournament I won a couple years ago in the club is I caught all 5 fish on a frog. I got 5 bites all day on a frog. They were eating it. Like I could tell after the second one, they're eating this today. Right. It was down in their throat, and there was just like the way that they hit it, like the way that it sounds, and just like a lot of times if they hit it and you don't see them like turn away from it, they got it.
Right.
But the thing with the
They
popper,
committed to it.
exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if you see like that really quick, they kind of halfway, they hit it hard, but they kind of halfway are hitting it from the side.
Right.
A lot of times, that's when you should switch. And that's the
Right.
first time I've ever done that. Like, because I usually, if I'm getting bit on the popper, I'm staying on it. You know,
Of course.
or the frog rather. I'm staying on it.
So I gotta say, if you got fish are coming up and they're swiping your frog and they're missing your frog, and it is open water enough or the grass is low enough for you to have the ability to throw a popper, one, you're upgrading your treble hooks, so a swipe is a lot more deadly.
Good point.
Right.
Uh,
Two, most of my poppers have rattles in them. Most frogs do not have rattles in them. I think there could be also a point of, I mean, you could be throwing a popping frog, that's one thing.
that's usually what I do.
You know, but your popper has a slightly different action, and if it's got that rattle in it, it's
Smaller
putting out a
profile,
completely, smaller profile and a completely different sound.
Well, that's what I started with as a popping frog. Same color, everything was the
Right.
same except the fact that it was a popping frog versus
Yeah.
a traditional
Well,
popper.
you got the legs. It's a different profile. I mean,
Right,
I know the
it
pop
is.
bar has the feathered treble hook on the
Right.
back or whatever, but still, it's definitely a different profile.
Right,
I
but
think the pop bar is more looks like a little minnow skipping, and the
Yeah.
frog might be more like a sunfish or a blue.
Sure.
Right.
But it was so cool to make that adjustment on the fly because it was kind of in my mind a little bit, and then when my rider was like, "Man, we should try that," it was like, "Yeah, that's gonna
And
happen."
just making that slight adjustment ain't that
Right. And I honestly don't think I would have caught any fish on a frog that whole day. I really don't. I
Yeah.
know because I didn't catch a single fish on the popper, and I'm letting them. They're grabbing it, and I'm waiting. I'm not swell boom. You know,
And
what
it's
I
like
mean?
my experience this morning.
Right.
My experience this morning throwing a popper, Dad must have had like 8 blow-ups on
Yeah.
it, and it was
Did you actually use the original pop bar by Rebel?
No, I was using the Strike King.
No.
So
Now I know Chad knows, but what is it? It's the Rico. We gotta do a lure show.
yeah, I know. We
If
definitely,
you don't know about the Rico, Rick Clun and the Rico, never mind. Just
the
Google it.
Rico, the Rio Rico,
Yeah.
just forget about it. Don't worry about it.
Forget I mentioned that.
Yeah, forget you mentioned it.
Which one did you use?
it was just a Strike King regular popper. I don't even really know. So the funny story about it is about a week ago, I was digging through my tackle box and I saw the popper there, and I'm like, this thing, the hooks on this are garbage, like they're rusted out. I just got to put hooks on it just because it's bothering me. And that's the first one that was in my tackle box.
Tony gets it. He's like, it looks good.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Yep. Right. Like,
Throw a $50 lure out there and not get a bite. Tony's like, look at this thing.
there he is. Like,
This hook's rusted as shit.
I'll change the hook, I guess.
but I mean, I don't know. Like, see, and I guess that's my philosophy is I want to spend my time fishing instead of playing with my gear.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that definitely has hurt me. I have had tournaments.
Nah, I play though. I know you take your lure very serious.
Well, but for honestly, like I've had tournaments where I've had broken hooks on fish because I looked okay.
I bent a lot of hooks. Like my hooks will get bent out of shape, and then like I don't always have the stockpile to just change the lure, so I try to bend them back
Right.
with my needle nose and everything, and then
it's going after that. You know what I mean?
You want to know what always screws up my trebs in the local honey hole?
Mhm.
The damn rockfish schoolies, man.
Man, them
They
little
destroy
So,
those
I
freaking
don't know.
heads. They
I
really
don't
do.
know if people watch the new video I'll post it tonight, but you'll see I catch this little rockfish and he goes crazy on me. And like on the new video, if you guys check it out, you'll see. And then he like jumps and he hooks on my shirt, so I hurry up and pull my shirt out so he won't hook me. Yeah, like watch the video, you'll see it on there. But them little rockfish are insane.
They
So-
they crash so
Like,
hard.
If you just calm down for a second, I'll
Yeah.
hook you and throw you back.
So right, we were in the whole, I guess, Tuesday or Monday or whenever we went out, and we're out there and we're fishing the bank and flipping it hard and everything where they're supposed to be. And I keep hearing stuff going on out in the middle.
Don't you hate that?
I'm done with this.
Yeah,
I pull out a white spook, and it was as long as a cast as I could make.
Oh, yeah, this was pretty impressive.
Started
Yeah,
selling
I
some
remember
rockfish.
this.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh my God, there's
Just
no
out,
way.
just out the
Started
middle.
smash the
Just out the
rockfish.
middle.
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
My brother's about to get, I'll tell you what, shut up. My brother's about to be like, shut up.
It was awesome. I caught like 2 or 3 of them like that.
Dude, one day we was out and like I might get in trouble for telling the story. We was out in like the quarry and we're like catching them, so throw a spook out there and start walking it. Giant fucking rock.
I gotta get the burn jar.
Over and over again.
Yeah,
And it was like,
so
damn.
much fun.
And
It's
then
so
like
much
he
fun.
swore me to secrecy, so now I'm dead because I just told everybody.
It's so much fun.
And that bike died off a year or two ago, but for like 2 or 3 years, we was smashing. I'm like, yeah, like it was.
We were fishing in one of the canals one day, and our club president Clint was in there, and he's throwing a frog, and he gets blown up, like a violent blow up.
Mhm.
And I could see that it was a light colored fish. I'm like, oh, it's not a snakehead. And he's like, he's an older guy. I guess his vision isn't the best anymore, but I see this, it's a rockfish, and it's a big one. I'm like, Clint, you got a giant rockfish. He's like, no, this is a 7-pound bass, and it's a rockfish. He's like, God damn it. But it was huge. I mean, I love doing stuff like that. Like,
The Martin Payne said, I never throw chop water. You know what? It's funny. I do, but I might be weird because everybody loves a top water bite, right?
Mhm.
I'll take a flipping bite any day over a top water bite.
I
love it.
I don't know.
I'm addicted to it.
I
Like
got
I feel
like
that
one
tick
flipping bite.
and I set that hook.
Dude, a good top water bite, you can't talk. If
I-
it's there,
I-
you can't talk. me out of
Don't
that.
get me wrong. I like it. I like it as much as everyone else, but a flipping bite for some reason for me, just like that's what I live for.
I love a good
Yeah.
flipping bite.
I guess that's just like me.
I think it's
tying
more the
into a
hook
fish on a
set.
swim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think it's more the hook set.
That's what I'm saying.
There's one, and when you
That's why I like throwing jigs,
and
man.
especially when you on the big fish, when you feel that weight. It's
Yep.
like, oh,
Dude,
it's good
when I wind up and drive a freaking 8-0 beast hook through a freaking fish's mouth,
Right.
this one day,
Yeah.
oh, it's the best.
I guess I just like hooking fish in their face. I don't know.
But,
Yeah, I love it though. The flipping bite.
Yeah,
is
Paul
hard to beat
agrees.
for me.
Paul's got a whole box full of green pumpkin jigs. He knows.
Yeah, Paul knows all about it, man.
yeah, I had a great time.
I had to
fishing.
kidnap Paul batteries before the summer solstice and hide them somewhere.
Yeah, for real.
I had a good day with Paul a couple weeks ago. Caught a couple decent fish out there with a swim jig, and it is so much fun when you pop something free of a
What you
piece
guys
of
do the
cover.
flats? Out on the flats?
We went to grass,
and
and Paul took me there, so I won't say where, but we were fishing in grass. That I can tell you. You mind a blue beer there?
I think I got an idea where you might have been. Probably over on Elk River or something.
Yeah, no, we
the elk river.
went to Back River.
Back River.
Right.
It's called
So-
a bunch of carp on top with it.
So Rob actually doesn't know, maybe, but we it's kind of our inside joke that we tell everyone.
Dude, I gotta go to Back River to get my favorite.
Well, you know,
Back
Evan-
River special.
I don't know, is Evan still on here? So, you know, Evan and Evan and Jake, big up to Jake Martin if he's watching, but, you know, their go-to is like, we called it out, Maxwell Point, deepest spot. Whenever somebody asked, but we weighed in at a Thursday nighter last year. And,
Oh, he's still on. You tell him now.
we did a Thursday night last year. We come up, we got our fish, and they're like, "Where you catch them?" And that was like in the water,
Right. Yeah. On a hook.
on a hook in the water.
I love when I come back from fishing. They're like, "You catch them?" I'm like, "Yeah, I caught some." I'm like, "Catch a bunch of snakehead." I'm like, "Yes,
That's like
but
the
no."
go-to. That's the go-to thing at the dock.
It really
Yeah,
is.
it really is.
is.
Yeah,
Everyone's always
I mean,
asking
nothing
about
against it.
snake.
That's my thing, dude. I'm not a fool. Like, I'm not a fool. I freaking kill every snake. I release more snakehead than I freaking keep.
Yeah, I'm kind of bad doing that too, because I do it too.
I release more snakehead than I keep.
It's hard
But if
for me
I
to
know
kill.
if I know there's somebody at the ramp that wants them, I'll keep them.
I usually
You know what
kick
I mean?
them.
Like, dude, I was like, dude, me and Evan were having this conversation the other day, man.
Evan loves
We
it.
were floating down. I mean, I don't love them, but like, man,
Evan's about to go fishing.
go.
Hey, good
fish.
luck, man.
Listen,
Good luck.
we're literally, yeah, good luck, homie. We're literally about to go. I'm just gonna say it out loud. We're all gonna go there and fish. We're all about to go fish Joppatown.
Well,
all about
tomorrow,
the fish.
'cause I'll be there in the morning.
We're all about to fish the solstice tournament and all that shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let's be honest. So you go to freaking Joppatown and you look around and some of the, I'm not giving you the key areas. I'm just saying Joppatown. You go and look, there's bait freaking everywhere, dude.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, I don't particularly like them, Paul. Like I'm in agreement, but dude, there's bait everywhere.
Well, this time of year,
I just can't.
it's hard to find a spot on gunpowder that there's not fish right now.
Right.
Yeah, now in spring it's a little different, and when they transition from fall is a little different. But this time of year, pretty much you can fish grass, you can fish laydowns, you can fish clear water, you can fish dirty water, whatever you like. Fishing
Right.
strengths. There's going to be some fish around.
That's one of the reasons why I really enjoy fishing there, because you can just pick, like, that's what I do a lot of
Your
times.
style.
Is I'll get to the ramp and like, okay, today I'm going to go do this, and I might not catch
There's a
them.
little of everything there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you can just, you know,
There's
You can
different.
fish docks if you want all day, and not
You
fish
can-
every dock.
docks, grass,
You can
deep
get,
structure, laydowns. It's all there.
You can
Whatever
get
you
tuned
want.
in and dialed in really good. But if you're just going out and you're just trying to catch them, I mean, you know, they're pretty much go to Foster Branch, go to the canal, go to either the pond or the quarry, whatever. They're going to be there.
Dude, I have never had great success in Foster Branch.
It's so muddy all the time as well. I don't like fishing.
Yeah.
Even when like everything else is clear, Foster Branch is still dirty.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there's the Thursday nighters one last year on Foster Branch.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. 100%.
Mm.
Yeah. When everybody else, nobody fished it.
Right. Yeah.
These worms are
It's like a
making me
sneak spot
drool right
almost
now,
anymore.
man. Dude, these worms are sick.
I like Foster Branch. I like it early. But like I've caught, actually my gunpowder PB is in Foster Branch.
What is it?
5.5.
So mine's 614, and I'm in the canal. Like I don't mind telling people, it was crazy. That day, I caught a 4.5. 2 casts later, I catch 1/5. Throw back in, catch 1/6. Then my heart was racing so bad, my nerves were so worked up. I was like flipping out, and it was my PB. Should have threw back in there again. I might have got a 7.
Right,
you
never
know what I mean? Like the gunpowder slept on. There's big bass in gunpowder.
Yes.
So you might think I'm crazy for saying this, but the next state record could come out of
There's
gunpowder.
big bass in.
I know it for a fact. I know
Yeah,
for a
I
fact
agree.
that
If it
there's
gets-
bass big enough.
If it gets healthy again, like before the fish kill.
Right,
think it
before
will.
the fish go.
I think
Before
it
the fish kill.
Yeah,
I
but
think
I
it's
know
getting better.
for a fact that a few years ago that one was called close, and it's got to be big enough to be.
Oh, that fish turned to spawn?
We don't, but yeah, but there's big enough bass in there to.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And there's abundance of 5-pounders. First of all, so like when I was coming up, 5-pounder was rare, and I always wanted to catch a 5-pounder. And as you know, like watching videos.
Pete Wagner says, "Shut up, Rob."
Right. Yeah, that's my brother. And now, if you can catch, I don't know, a couple 5-pounders a year, even more than that, but there's big bass in gunpowder, so I'm saying. Is it enough to beat? Is it enough to win a derby? If there's a derby up north, to run down and win a derby on it? I don't know. Maybe it's possible. I think it's been done.
Oh,
People run down, and the only reason I even brought up the whole topic was, what is this? The solstice tournaments on the 20.
It's next Friday.
Next
A week
Friday.
from today, right?
I mean,
yes.
how many estimation? How many boats do you guys think is going to show up for this
Yeah,
tournament?
30.
30.
Last year was like 33.
Yeah.
Did I bet you it might even be more than that this year?
Let's hope so. Let's promote
I think
it,
it
man.
will.
I hope everybody shows up.
I mean, we definitely been talking about it. A lot of people are hyped about it. I brought up Joppatown just because we're all going to go fish Joppatown. Everybody that's watching this podcast.
Well, I know Greg's on here. Come on, Greg. Let's keep them going all year round. At least up until like October or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
you
because
gotta
it
shut
gets
down
really-
too early.
It gets good in the fall too. Like,
Yeah.
well, everything
Yeah.
does, but specifically, like,
Insane in the fall.
yeah, no. Like when we went out last year, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta shut up. My brother's right. Shut up, right?
Yeah, so Greg says you should have seen the pond back in 2011.
I know.
And
I did.
You
We
know,
did, Greg.
like I said, once
did.
again, I only brought up Joppa because we're all about the fish Joppa. I didn't really want to bring up all the Joppatown juice.
Ah, we didn't talk about no
But-
Jews. That's just there's
Well,
big
there's
bass,
big bass. You
Joppatown.
got to figure out where they're at in Joppatown. You're right about that.
and it's highly
There's definitely-
pressured.
There is.
It's
It
highly
is high pressure.
And
pressure.
now
Those
they
fish
got
don't get
that.
big,
They got
big,
that
stupid.
kayak rental crap going on now. Have you seen this?
Nah.
Oh yeah, you can that marina. I believe it's a marina. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But you know, at Mariner Point Park, that marina next door, I believe they're the ones doing
Oh,
it.
the one closer to Royal Farms.
right on.
Yeah, the kayaks are all like the same color, but you'll see like 30 or 40 of them.
It's got to be.
It's
Like
got to be
a
this
snake.
I was
freaking
coming down
dolphin. No, it's got to. It's dude. It's all those people in this freaking yellow, stupid looking kayaks.
That's the one. Yeah. And it's not even the one that like.
Probably the same people bitching about the 6 mile an hour rule. People passing at 30 through the
so
channels.
that's
the
guy
other dude
by
going
the
across
pond.
the freaking
By the
cover.
pond. Yeah. That's him.
I've blown through there and seen them kids like on the bank, and I'm just like, hey, yeah.
I heard DNR was like staking it out.
They were.
Yeah,
They were.
I heard that.
They were, but they didn't last long there.
So-
But dude, if you're in a kayak and you're in the middle of where we need to be, though, I'm sorry, I'm blasting your ass. Like, what are you even doing?
So you know what? Some of the kayakers had told me like they'd rather fly by. When you slow
It's
down,
less
you
wake.
shoot them a bigger wake.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like when you see them and you like slow down, you shoot them this real big wake. They're like, man, just go by me, and they just
Yeah.
over
No,
and-
absolutely.
and throw their map spinner.
The experience.
Right.
Yeah, the guys on the
I'm
freaking-
sorry if kayakers are watching. I'm just joking.
Dude, the guys on the freaking
Yeah.
battleship kayaks, but then you get the people.
Battleship kayaks.
It's actually 15 foot long. They're like bigger than my little
I know
fist.
you can stand on these freaking things, but then you got the people in like a freaking 10-foot sun dolphin. You go blowing past them.
I got a tear coming out my eye, man.
Have you ever seen? You gotta hold it together.
I can't hold it together.
Have you ever seen the guy who launches a blue bass boat in Joppatown with a car?
No, I missed that one.
For real?
I missed that
It's
one.
a gray Ford Fusion with a blue hood, and it's a 15 foot
fiberglass.
It's manual.
fiberglass bass.
Damn,
It's manual.
that's rough because I'll be worried about truck and even pull my aluminum boat out
Dude's
sometimes.
a stick.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Oh, yeah, I saw him. He caught that 12-pounder.
Right. But if you guys ever see a guy,
probably throws pink worms.
right?
Yeah.
If you guys
No!
if you guys ever see somebody launching, if you have, please comment it because apparently like this guy is known of. But if you ever see a guy launching a 15-foot blue bass boat with a Ford Fusion car, let me know because that's my uncle and he doesn't know anything. We're trying.
In his defense,
Yes, Paul is right. He used,
I put my glasses on, see what Paul
he
said.
used to pull it with a Hyundai Elantra, and that is God's
He
truth.
upgraded.
Dude,
or
I'm
he
telling you,
downgraded.
I
I'm
started-
not sure which way that would go.
It is
I swear to
God's,
God.
it is God's truth.
This guy has been a legend to me
I'm
at
telling you.
Mariner Point.
Does
for
he
like
count?
5
I
years now.
probably had to see him before. I just
Oh,
don't
yeah.
Dude,
know.
you probably see him in the boat, but you don't realize it's the dude in the car.
Right.
But dude, I've seen this guy roll in, and me and Steve have been like, that
So-
dude wants to fish.
So for
You know,
5
like,
years,
he
been
wants
launching
to
the
be
car.
there no matter what.
Probably like 30 years. So that's how I grew up
think
fishing.
might know who
I
you're
grew up
talking
fishing
about.
with him when I was a kid, and he's always had like little bass boats, like 15, 16 foot.
Yeah,
bass boats.
he upgraded the boat, not the car.
We have always launched with a compact freaking car. Never one time have I ever launched with it, and it doesn't matter where. Big Conowingo, freaking
Car.
dude, at Peach
A
Bottom,
manual car.
At
at
Peach
that.
Bottom?
Peach Bottom, at Peach
Oh,
Bottom.
shit. He pulls that out at Peach Bottom?
I got out of the car. I don't even.
He's been in the car. Tony's been in the car before. Now
Yeah.
this is confirmed.
I'm like, there's no way.
Tony's like, let me out this car.
I'm like, there's no way. Like,
That's
so
hilarious.
and we have a family shore property at in Saltpeter.
Is he really your uncle?
Yeah, no, he is.
Oh, I thought you were joking.
No, he
Yeah,
is.
it's really
He's
something.
really my uncle.
Dude,
Like,
swear to God,
oh.
so-
And he really knows no better.
bro, so
Yes.
we
And he
came.
took you to Peach Bottom. He was like, let me out the car.
no. I got out of the car because I was like, if this thing's gonna go in the fucking river.
Oh, that is hilarious.
There ain't no way.
I'm done.
Bro,
I got a better one. We were at Saltpeter Creek one time, me and a buddy in high school, and
burn jar.
I thought he was joking the whole time.
we're pulling out and we have it's a sand ramp with dirt, right? And
Right.
he's trying to pull his bass boat out. Me and my buddy are pushing the car, trying to get out of the ramp. He's smoking the tires on dirt. There is smoke in the air. Dude, smoked his clutch, smoked his front wheel drive.
This
too.
must be why
So
you
it's
went
like
from the
bouncing
Hyundai
and shit.
Elantra to the Ford.
Oh, it was great.
I got tears.
It was great. Dude, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like,
Dude, I'm still tripping off in front of your uncle.
it is.
I can't get past that yet.
You want to hear a really good story? You want to hear a really good story?
Oh,
He told. So he used to keep a fishing journal, right? And it was. I don't know when the date was, but it was the date of the Bassmaster Classic in like 1993, and he went out fishing, and he's in Dun. Hold on, it gets better.
91 was in Maryland.
Yes, it's 91. So he went out fishing in his little bass boat, right?
Yeah.
Catches a stud in Dundee, and there's a guy fishing the reeds in the tournament, in the Classic, because Ranger boat and all that shit.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, the guy got really mad because I held the fish up. I'm like, hey, you looking for this? And then the guy ran away. And I'm like, what day was this? I'm like, what day did this occur? He's like, oh, it was like
Tournament day, final day in the tournament.
Yes, swear to God. I'm like, do you realize what you've done? He's like, oh, I didn't know it was the Classic. I'm like, oh my God.
Me and Evan was out fishing, and Evan had took his dad out fishing, and like we were. Evan was on his boat with his dad. I was on my boat. Now I'm catching him. Evan's catching him. His dad ain't catching him. So I catch one. He's like, nice fish, Rob. Evan's dad, right? So I was like, yeah, you want to hold it? Don't ask me what his dad said after that.
And then, I'll tell you what brought the whole thing up. On the way home from fishing today, we literally pulled into Tony's driveway, and I looked forward, and I was like, that car looks hella familiar.
The car?
Yep.
Oh,
that car looks hella familiar. I was like, does somebody you know launch a boat with that car? And he was like, yeah, my uncle launches with that car. And I was like, dude, your uncle was a legend.
See,
I
look,
didn't know this.
Nick agrees with me. He's like, I got out the car and laughing out loud. He's crying. He's
I'm
probably
telling you,
crying too.
like,
Yeah, dude.
Like we were talking to
Like, I
Mr.
got out
Dave
the car.
today out there, and he's like launching a peach bottom's like dropping your boat off a cliff, and it's true. Like,
Yeah,
it's,
it is
it's
true.
Or that Broad
It is
Creek
true.
ramp.
Oh
That
my
one
God.
that goes like down the hill.
We've
and,
launched
like,
there
you gotta
in
go
this
back,
car.
and you can't even get back out on the road. It's like you can't see if any traffic's coming.
Oh yeah.
My brother had me like in the boat. Like I drove the boat up on the trailer, and we're like going up that big hill. I was scared.
We've taken.
Like,
We have launched in that car and then taken that little bass boat from Dundee
that car.
all the way to Pools Island before.
Really?
And like wind and like stupid shit spearing waves. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are we doing? I'm like, God damn it.
Hey, look, man, he's a real fisherman.
I mean,
Like,
yeah, I give him credit.
You know,
Like,
you know what, man? Sometimes I'm like, forget all that big fancy
mhm.
everything. Like that's a real fisherman.
Right.
Yeah.
I float on a piece of styrofoam if I have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's how I felt when I was seeing
Sometimes
him
you got to
first
pull a
time.
car,
Right.
boat in a little car.
well, well, here's the thing, right? So there's a perfectly good full size Chevy pickup truck in the driveway.
Oh, yeah, I messed my truck up. We can pull this shit with the car.
Yes, yes. I don't, and I quote, I don't want to burn the gas.
The truck eats too much gas. The car pulls the boat perfectly fine.
Yes.
Dude, when you pulled up to like,
It's less
I
than
can't
it is.
stop. When you pulled up to the boat, I feel like the passenger seat. Everybody's looking at us.
Yeah, pretty much.
Embarrassed, like, oh man, people think we're retarded.
Yeah.
See, I just own that. Like, yeah, I am retarded. Watch this. And, like, my car might go in the water.
Yeah. I'm going fishing.
Yeah, I'm still going fishing. I'm gonna catch them too.
You know, so the next time you see him there, so here's how he launches the boat, always, pulls it away, parks, and then cranks the boat because it's like a 1980 Skeeter. Like it's ancient, right? And the
Dude,
motor's
it's
even
still
older than that.
badass no matter what.
So
The motor's older than that. He said.
so he'll crank the boat. It
It is
won't
a badass
start.
boat, though.
It won't start because it's old. So and the choke doesn't work. So he'll pull the metal cowling off. It wraps around, right? It's made out of a beer can or whatever. Like basically pull the choke and put the warm lift all the way up so it'll start and it'll just redline. And he'll let it redline for like a minute.
What's his name?
Charles.
Oh, you gotta make Uncle Charlie's fishing channel, dude.
It's like
Now,
Bill Dance.
Like that shit would be
I'm telling
super
you.
popular. Uncle Charlie,
There's another guy that launches in a Taurus. I'm pretty sure that's what Jake said.
dude. Uncle Charlie fishing YouTube channel.
It's
I'm telling you, it'd be classic. People love the stuff like that. That's what gets views.
Zebco 33, like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
green
definitely.
gulp
Yeah.
worms, send it. Like no matter what.
Yeah.
Remember the day we were in there and like
Green gulp worms.
yeah.
I got to Walmart get some more gulp worms.
Yes.
They're on sale.
he'll pull his reels apart. He gets the Shakespeare like $15 big bastards, right? And the parts are just
Little
complete
lid.
garbage. Yeah. No, I'm serious. I'm telling you.
Tony, I'm telling you, man, these things are setting good.
Right.
It's
So-
all this liquid.
We were fishing. We were fishing out there last year. I took them on the Ranger. I try to take a fish as much as I can because it's entertainment, like for free, right? So we're taking them out.
Sounds like a hammer, dude. If you ask me.
Well,
Like,
hold on.
Dude, he saved my life. He brought me 2-stroke oil.
Oh, you know him too?
Dude, yeah, look, I ran out of 2-stroke oil on the way back to the juice one day, and he was on the way out.
Where's
Tony
this
called
juice
him.
you're talking about?
It's on the water.
But it was. So we're fishing, and I'm doing all the shit that you're supposed to do. I'm flipping, I'm freaking frogging, I'm doing chatterbait, paralleling, ripping it from the grass, and he is dragging on a Zepco 33 with like 20-pound test, dragging a Senko behind, catches a 6-pounder.
Yeah, of course.
And he's like,
Okay.
and then so here's how he fights fish. So when he fishes out of his boat, he doesn't fish on the front deck. He sits in the seat. He sits in the seat.
Too much for me, dude.
And he
I'm
fishes
overloaded
like that.
with information right now.
And when he catches a fish, instead of fighting it with the
Picking
rod,
up on some of these habits.
I'm telling no, dude, I'm serious. When he hooks a fish, instead of taking the rod and reeling it in, he puts the rod right up against the throttle, so it's bending that way, and he just cranks it.
Got him.
Yeah, just
What's the matter, Tony? You can't catch him? Look at
yeah,
that.
pretty much.
I'm putting in the trunk of the car.
Oh, it's insane.
It's my brother, dude, because my brother, I know he's watching, but my brother's like, we're not catching him. He's like, oh, you gotta use pink. Goes on like a pink ass spinner bait with a pink fluke or a trailer.
That's me.
Oh, it's insane.
Man, there's one there. Like, damn.
Dude, sometimes it's like one of those like minute things that you can change. Like,
Oh, I'm telling you,
dude,
if we're
we
not
started out
catching
with,
them,
like
if it looks like we're getting skunked, he's
something.
gonna
It
throw
can
all pink.
literally be
He
color.
won't throw pink all day. That's only in case of emergency. When I catch them, time to break out the pink and then catch one. Swear to God, dude. Swear
It
don't
can
sleep
be
on the pink, dude. He's
fishing.
probably like, don't be telling people about the pink.
I'm serious though. Going out and fishing, like when you're out fishing, you're throwing. You might be throwing a Ned rig. You're super confident in that Ned rig.
Right.
But like, dude, some days like it really comes down to freaking color. If it's
It
not the
does.
exact color they wanted, they don't eat it. And I've
Happened
had
today.
so many experiences where it's like, okay, like I literally had like a black and blue Ned on, but all they wanted that day was peanut butter and jelly
Right.
or green pumpkin.
And I'm
Today
weird
was just
because
like-
I'm always like, always
black
been a
today.
natural, always been like natural color type guy. Like I don't even fish chartreuse that much. Just because I feel more like it looks more what they're eating.
Right.
Then I'm telling you, my brother, he'd be like, oh man, throw on like this bright ass pink and catch it. So I'm like,
See, I'm the same way,
Yeah.
except when we're talking about smallmouth. When we're talking about smallmouth,
I heard they
when
love
get,
the pink.
That's
dude.
when I get shit like this going.
Yeah,
You know, this kind of deal.
Right.
Just,
The
like-
largemouth will eat that shit too.
they
Oh,
will.
yeah.
I'm telling you, my
You
brother
float that
smashes them
You
on
float
pink.
that shit across.
Not
their
just
face,
my
like,
brother. I
you
don't know
can
if Jake's
watch
on
it.
here, but Jake Martin too. They're both the exact same. My brother Pete and Jake Martin both be like, "Oh, you gotta throw the pink." I can't. I got no confidence in it whatsoever.
It's there.
Yeah,
It's
but
there.
oh,
I've
they
thrown a
catch
pink
'em.
lure like twice in my
Yeah,
life.
Well,
they catch
you
them.
look over there, I'm pretty sure there's like a pink crankbait laid over here somewhere for you.
Dude, I'm telling you, if the only color is green pumpkin in my work.
Yeah.
Now I do a lot of black and silver, like hard baits, black and
Right.
silver, shad type colors.
Now, do you
White.
think color matters more with plastics or hard baits?
So here's the funny thing: I have caught them in very dirty water on like green pumpkin.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Well, it's a dark color.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it shows up better. Actually, than
Type to
chartreuse.
structure or
And they
just
say
out
black.
in the middle though.
No type of structure.
So do you think you hit him in the face, or do you think
No.
it was the contrast that drove him over to it?
The contrast. So that's what they say about black and blue. So they say bass can't see blue. I don't know if you know this. They say they don't see the color blue.
I think there's a lot of things about bass with colors. I think
But
they're
it's
very limited
contrast.
to their color.
So black and blue is just a contrast of color.
Right.
Is what gets them. So that's why black and blue or any two-tone bait really works. But even in muddy water, I still throw natural colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for largemouth, the color selection, especially in tidal water, is just so simplified. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what I love. But when you go up the dam, it's
Well,
you
it's
got to be
different.
tuned in. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Well, that water's so clear too.
Well, it hasn't been for a long time. Now, if you go up there in the wintertime and you don't have a good rain, it will get like gin.
Yeah. Now clear water is a whole different story.
Right.
Yeah, I gotta go natural as I can in clear water. I like flash. In
Yeah.
clear water, I like flash.
You got to get out to the flats in like a month when the grass is in.
I'll go
It'll
to
be
some of the
crystal
ghost
clear out
colors.
there.
I'll go to
Oh,
some of the
that's
ghost colors.
definitely
in
clear.
clear water.
Yeah,
I'll go to some of the more like clear
Right.
colors and like
They
some
can
of
see
the
so
clear
good.
water stuff
like
like
they can
that.
see it,
I mean, that's
and that looks more natural. Because if you ever look at those little shiners and all, they're almost see-through.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they really are. So like you see.
What do you
them
think they
over
feed
Gilpin.
on mainly?
Depends on where it is.
Hey,
I think.
no, I'm
yeah,
talking about here. I'm talking
Here?
about our region.
Dude, right now
Shad.
they're eating shad heavy.
Yeah,
right
because
now.
Yeah,
Shad's
shad right
bomb.
now, but up until about a
flat
month ago,
nose
it's been
minnows.
crawls.
You know those mud minnows, those flat nose minnows, bull minis, people call them.
Yes.
No matter
Yeah.
what, all year round, there's hella bait back there.
Yeah.
There's
Oh, yeah.
bait. There's so much bait.
You think
Those
they,
small gills, dude. Those I'm telling you, those
you
shad
think they
is
feed
good
on
under here,
crawfish a
bro.
lot?
Yes.
They eat small
Absolutely.
rockfish. I know
Absolutely.
they're eating schoolie rockfish. I know they are.
The tournament, the April 30th.
What about
I had
baby
one.
snakeheads? You think bass are eating little
I've
snakeheads?
seen
They're
that.
definitely
I've
eating
seen
snakehead.
that happen.
They definitely are.
Yeah, it's kind of my theory. It's
Snakehead
kinda
are
what I
eating
thought.
bass fry. Bass are going to eat snakehead fry.
Bass
It's the
also
balance of nature.
But snakeheads eat snakeheads just like bass eat bass. I mean, like
Right.
people forget that. The conversation is always, well, the snakeheads are eating the bass. Like, well, the bass are also eating the bass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all.
Oh,
It's
Oh,
a
there's plenty
bass.
of video footage of that.
If a
Yeah.
bass is going to eat a worm, a plastic senko, why would they not eat a snakehead fry or a small snakehead? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be competition. I mean, I hear back in the day in the '90s, like saltpeter Dundee, and that area was full of pickerel, and now that's like not a thing. I've caught
The
one.
bass fishing there was excellent.
Right.
Yeah, especially around like power plant, like
Mhm.
saltpeter and Seneca,
Mhm.
in between there where they got it.
Now it's
The
roped
cables
off.
off. Yeah. Oh man, dude. Like one time, the power plant had put something in the water that cleared it up like super clear.
Hmm.
You could see the fish,
Hmm.
and it was insane. They were everywhere. It was loaded.
There's a lot of grass in there now.
Yeah.
It's not as last year. This time of year, it was actually starting to die off.
Well,
It
you
was
know,
because it grew so early.
and the water's warm in the wintertime.
It
And
used to
cool those.
be.
And not no more.
No.
See, I don't fish it no more.
Yeah.
It's just loaded with like kayakers, and the fishing wasn't that good. So
It's
I heard
coming back
people
a
are
little
catching.
bit.
I heard people are catching them there now.
Yeah, it's still like a, like you got to really put if you didn't know it from a long time ago, like I don't think there's any reason to go over there.
Right.
There's other places to go.
And all the spots that look good are not the good spots. But that's pretty much any.
I think
Like when you first go on like a new body of water, most of the like, well, not all of them, but a lot of like, oh wow, that looks awesome. It's usually not the juice.
right.
Yeah.
Well, like,
I mean,
Oh
yeah.
my God! When we
but
went
when
to
you
Florida-
find the juice, it's the juice.
when
you
we
know?
when we went to Florida in March, it was like I don't even know where to start. I mean,
Right.
it was like
Everything looks
my-
juicy.
everything looks
Yeah.
incredible. Conowingo is the same way. Every bank has rocks. in it.
Yeah, I
Lay
struggle
down
on
some
Conowingo.
rocks.
Uh,
Yeah.
You have to fish that lake a lot differently. Like that's where I first started fishing, because when I first got my first bass bed, I was like 17, 18 years old. I didn't know anything about the flats.
right.
I knew Joppatown, but like my sense of knowledge of Joppatown was the quarry canal, and Foster Branch. I didn't know anything else about Joppatown. I didn't know anything else about the flats. I just went to Conowingo because I heard that's where it was a lake. That's
Right.
where bass were.
Yeah.
And I used to go up there and catch them. But like I struggled a lot there, and I would just beat the bank. Just beat the bank, beat the bank, beat the
Well,
bank.
you know, that's the go-to.
Well,
usually.
it's
Yeah.
not though.
Well,
It's
not,
not.
no, but I mean
Right.
that's most people that just get into bass fishing go-to.
Oh, right.
Right,
But the
yeah.
thing of it is like beating the bank up there is not
Still
beating the
fishing.
bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there are so many
Almost,
intricacies.
I'm power fishing.
You need to be able to make adjustments, though.
Like you get mega live. No, I don't fish out of 4 foot deep water. Why don't you make a live?
Right.
You know, I'm
It
power
would have been nice.
straight
up
power
there.
fisherman.
Yeah.
It definitely would have been nice up there today.
You don't have it.
No.
No. Were you hummingbirds or?
I got Helix 10s. I'm going to.
Do you have 360?
No, I don't. I do not.
360 would be sick. I'm definitely getting.
That's what I would
360.
get. So I went to a
360.
seminar that Greg DePalma gave, and he was like, number one question that he gets asked was, should you go Mega Live or 360 if you can only buy one?
Mhm.
He
Huge
recommended
differences.
360. He really
Huge
recommended
differences.
360, dude. He was like 360.
How often are you fishing deep structure?
Well, that's my point. I don't.
Right.
Never.
If you fish tidal, I mean, you don't
Right.
need it. Like
You're
Yeah.
fishing grass lines, you're fishing drop offs, you're
Right.
fishing 10
Yeah.
foot, 12
I
foot,
mean,
15-foot structure.
In the GP, what's the deepest we're fishing? What? Maybe if you go to pond, maybe 14 foot, maybe.
Right.
At the deepest point
I've
ever.
definitely cranked them at high. I've definitely cranked them 20 feet in the pond before.
But at the pond, anywhere else you go, you'd be lucky.
Nowhere
if
else.
it's-
Yeah. You cut that in
yeah.
half.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why you need, even
I
on the
agree.
flats, and look, I don't even think Northeast is that deep either, is it? I don't know. Like I'm not that
I
familiar.
really, I
I
have
don't think it's
very
that deep.
limited experience that way.
Right. Yeah.
No, the flats. I mean, like they're channels and stuff, but
But they're not those. Are,
as soon as the grass
all the
gets
boats
in,
are lined up on the channel. It's
that's
not
what I
fun.
hate.
Yeah.
That
You don't even.
is-
I don't need a depth finder to say like, oh, all these boats are lined up. You know
and
what I
that
mean?
and that's honestly part of the reason I stay in gunpowder and Conowingo a lot, because like I as a fisherman don't see value in just going out and finding the boats. And I know Paul's still on, and
It
Paul
sucks.
will agree to me.
That
Like
sucks. Yeah.
there are absolutely fishermen that are
Oh, yeah.
well-known fishermen in this area that, and I'm not going to name names because I don't know who they are, but I know for a fact that there are fishermen that are well-known fishermen in this area that go out, look for the boats, sit down either right in the middle or right outside, and just start fishing.
Which sucks, dude. Like, who wants to fish like that? Not me.
I don't.
I mean, some people might enjoy it.
I don't like
for
fishing. I don't even like fishing in the
I
pond.
definitely
where
wouldn't
there's
be, I don't think I would be
more
able to go back to the ramp.
The
field
pond
and
gets
do
over
it
there.
myself.
Yeah, no,
It's like how many times do I loop around this circle with 15 other boats?
right.
You know what
No, I
mean?
agree.
Around and
You know
around.
how
we
many
go.
times I've done that?
Right,
How many
agree.
times I've done that and outfished the other boats though?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
There's
if
a lot
we're
of
just
people that
starting
go
out,
quick in
but
tournaments, just
I'd
getting in there.
rather, so the whole thing is, it's not only knowing where the juice is at, but sometimes finding some fish that no one else has found.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's part of the reason why I like the canals and stuff, because I
Canals are
enjoy-
juicy. dude.
I enjoy fishing that more, even if I do not
The
as
pond
well,
is so
because
pressured.
it's just more
So
fun.
pressured.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can just, it looks cool as shit. There's pads, there's wood, there's
Right.
grass. It's like, and I have it myself. I don't have to worry about 3 other boats over where I want to go. Most of the time when I roll into the pond or something and there's a spot that I want to fish, there's usually a boat there.
yeah.
And it's like,
So that's the thing a lot of people say about farther up north, the flats and everything. Everybody knows all the spots and everybody's on all the spots all the time.
or is it the only spots are the ones that people are on?
You know
That's the
what?
question.
Well, I've heard that there's spots to be found that people have not found, and when people do find them, that's when they really.
So
Yeah.
Martin has a comment and says you've actually heard that PA club guys will say, just don't pre-fish, just go down and find the boats parade and just start fishing.
No, I believe that.
I mean, how I was told to learn the flats is run down the channel, pick as far as you want to go, put the trolling motor down, and go 90 degrees to the left and find grass. And
I
start
couldn't
fishing.
sleep at night.
Right.
I couldn't sleep at night till some shit like that.
Right.
I'm gonna go out and find my own fish or some shit.
Well, that's
Whether
like
I
cheating
find-
in a tournament.
Whether I find my fish in the same juices where they are,
Right.
I'm still trying to find where they at by myself. I don't know.
Well, that's the key. That's the real
That's
key.
shady as fuck.
The key is
Serious.
finding the fish, of course. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even the guy to be like, like if you told me like, hey, Rob, I was out catching them today, I'm not the guy that's going to be like, where are we at? Where were you catching them?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to know that. Like, I'm not that guy. A lot of people ask those questions when you
Yep.
tell them. I'm not that guy. Like, well, good. Congrats.
Did you
But
catch
I'm going to
anything?
go out and find them
Right.
and catch them how I do.
Right.
More, it's much more satisfaction.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I get it all
Yeah,
the
what's the
time.
sense of just asking you where you went, what you use, and then I go do it? And plus, the hardest thing is to catch other people's fish.
Right.
Like, you done was there today and wore them out.
Right.
And then now we'll try to do it tomorrow because you did today.
Like,
Trying to go catch a fish that had a hook in its mouth the day or two before.
Right. And like Tony was like, yeah, I was catching them on a spinner bait here, and now I'm going to go throw a spinner bait the next day. I mean, Tony done wore them out. Their lips
It's
is all
not even
sore.
close, yeah.
like
Yeah.
me and Paul have a gentleman's agreement because we fish gunpowder a lot. And he showed me a lot of spots in there. So I always tell Paul, like in the solstice, I'm like, where do you not want to see me today?
Right.
Because
I might
showed
know
it
a
to
couple
me,
of
that's
those
yours.
spots.
Like it's like if you show me that spot and you're fishing that tournament and you want it, you have all the right to.
If it's
Now,
a-
if you
if
don't
it's
want
a-
it, I'm going to take it,
if it's a-
maybe. But
If it's a pre-fishing gig, I totally agree with that. Now, I feel like if there was like a spot and he may have showed you, but 6 months later, you guys go out and fish a tournament 6 months later, and you go run to that spot and you get there maybe before him, I might feel a little differently.
well, I'm going to ask. That's my thing. Is I'm going to ask like, hey, are you going here first?
I think
You know
me
what I
and
mean?
Paul,
There's
and
a
maybe me and you
time
have done
frame.
that before too. Like, where are you headed? Because I'm headed here, so we don't end up in the same spot trying
Exactly.
to
Right.
battle over a spot.
Right.
Because we all know the spots.
Right.
You know,
Like-
so it's like. You know.
Like I blew your mind when I told you where I fished the solstice last year. You're like, bass boats can get in there.
What'd you get in, like third or
We
something
got
last
third
year?
last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
We had a pretty good finish.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Didn't let any.
I launched my boat, and I'm like out there, and Tony's like, "Hey, Rob, hope you come in second."
He'll be coming second.
Right. I should have got it on video because I've been classic for the video.
Right. Oh man. I've said that to people like I've seen people that I haven't seen in a while. We'll be like talking and be like, oh yeah, man, it's great to see you. Hey, I hope you come in second. And they're like, oh thank wait, hold on. What the fuck's that mean?
Hope you come in second.
And I'm definitely all about trying to help the homies out and keep everybody up in the top, but there's sometimes you just gotta keep it to yourself.
Hey man, if you're on fish and you find out and you show somebody,
Right. Well,
the word gets around very quick.
Quick,
It gets around quick, no matter
no matter what, I
It's
don't
not
talk, I
on
don't talk. Yeah, you
purpose.
talk.
Like me and Tony are buddies, so I might tell Tony, like he ain't gonna tell nobody. Then Tony might tell you because you guys are buddies.
Right.
It just spreads so quick.
Chad doesn't fish
Right,
tournaments.
right. But you're right. It spreads like that. It's nobody's fault. It just
Right.
does.
Well, so Paul was on a really, really cool smallmouth bite this year on the bay. I won't even say where, but there was a couple times where I actually wanted to go up there and try to fish it, but I knew Paul was fishing there, and I don't want to go.
Oh, I would have cut right in front of him.
But I'm like, I was like, I could go up there and see if I can figure it out, but like, I know he's up there, and I'm not just gonna spy on him like that. Like,
That's how
that's
it's
a
supposed to be.
special bite. That is a super that bite that he was on is something that he really is the only person that knew about. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. If I go up there and look, because I didn't know the area, I just knew it was somewhere in this general area, which is like 20 freaking square miles. Like, I'm not gonna go up there when I know he's up there catching them because I didn't fucking find that shit. Like, it's different when you're just hopping in the grass and that there's boats there and all that other nonsense. But like when it's something like that, and you're catching the quality of fish that he was catching, like that's his. You know what I'm saying? It's just a little bit different because like a lot of people say that the bay now plays
You
by
get
the
on
chemicals.
something and you discover something. It's like that's you. Like if it's something like nobody knows nothing about. Like, nobody's ever found this before. This is insane. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't. If somebody tells you about it, you can't just go wear it
Yeah,
out.
no, I agree.
Like, no, they trust me enough to tell me I'm not going to wear their fish out. You know what I mean? Like, that's not cool.
Like,
Yeah,
no, I absolutely agree. And, I think that's like people say now that the Bay has caught up to the rules of the Potomac because apparently the Potomac is like a very like up close and personal. Like you're going to fish grass with 30,000 of your best friends. And it's like that down in the Bay, which is annoying.
Upper Bay.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely not like that.
Maybe more people start fishing Dundee and stuff like that than start spreading out because nobody wants to do that. Like it like going up to the flats is fun and the fish and all that, but who wants to deal with that?
No, I agree, and I'm a big like I'm not gonna say it takes enjoyment out of fishing, but there's a really good example of this was I was fishing a club tournament April 30th. I ended up with third. I had 4 fish for like 14 pounds. One more fish, I would have won it. I was like 13.8, and I think 14 and a half won. So I needed one more 1 pound fish, and I would have won the tournament.
Right.
I'm sitting there and throwing an orange chatterbait, catch a 5 pounder, catch a 4 pounder. I got 4 fish in the box. And
Fire
one
crawl.
more. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And there's a guy
Was it
who
a jackhammer?
no it wasn't.
Just the regular
Straight
chat.
on. Yep. And there's
a little chatterbaits too.
And there's a guy
Jackhammers
next to
are
me
the only
who
way.
I don't know.
They're the only way.
And I was now there's a the
Where's
boat,
Martin at?
now the boat flotilla is here. I'm off to the side a little bit because I just don't want to get in that shit, right?
Right.
And there's a guy next to me. He's probably 50 yards away. and I hear the guy on the front deck say, "That guy just caught 2 fish from orange. We should put orange on."
Oh,
And I'm like, I can't blame him, right? Because like he watched me catch him on orange.
right.
I'm not fishing against the guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, whatever. So I keep throwing I need one more fish. I watched the guys over in that boat catch 3 fish that
Yeah.
would have won me the tournament. And
That's
I'm like,
the hard
fuck.
part with
Like-
with me making my YouTube videos. Like, I don't always want to give up where I'm fishing and what I'm fishing, but at the
Right.
same time, like, you know what? If you're just gonna go do what I'm doing, then go do it. You
Right.
know, hey, I'm glad I helped you out. You know?
Right. Well, and the thing is, it's like very few people put in the amount of time in that area that you would. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
And like us 3, Paul is in that conversation as well too.
Oh yeah, and
you know,
then a
like-
lot of guys on here.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know, I feel like with a lot of the videos,
Paul hit it on the edge. You got to be observant.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'll be the first one to
I
say.
see Paul looking at me with binoculars and shit. Don't tell Paul's talking crap. Oh, tell a funny Paul Batter story because we had launched on a Thursday night. It was a holiday. I forget what holiday, but it was like, you know how the 6-knot buoy is like weekends and holidays.
Yeah,
sure.
So everybody had asked like Scott and them before we launch off. It was like, what's with 6
6
knots?
mile an hour. Yeah.
So they told us like, you know, you're good. Once you get past first buoy, you're good.
Right.
Well, Paul and them are like over headed towards canal,
Mm-hmm.
and here comes everybody, and we take off, right? And Paul's like yelling at me and crap. What the hell's Paul yelling at, right?
Mhm.
So we get back later at weigh-in. I'm like, Paul, dude, like they told us it was no 6 knots after the buoy. He was like, yeah, I know. I went to call Scott, and as soon as I was calling him, after you took off, here comes Scott and Greg fly by me right behind you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that thing, man.
That's 6 knots, though.
I don't like it.
Yeah, like
Like I get it.
It's
Like
all because
now,
of the kayak. bitch.
I get it
There's
in the
been brothers
canals.
bitching about that shit.
in the canals, I get it. But in Days Cove, why? It's okay.
how are you supposed to get in there and get out?
Right.
I mean,
Getting
yeah,
out
for
is
real.
like, yeah. No, I agree.
And we pay our fishing license and we register our boats and we pay money to the state. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we can get stuck back there and die. They don't care.
I got a
No,
friend of mine
For
who
real,
got
you
stuck
should
back
go
there
back there and
for a
fucking
day, man.
freeze to death. Or
Oh, you
some
definitely
shit.
can get stuck back there for a long time.
I had a buddy of mine get stuck
Yes,
back
you
there. He went in on Friday morning and got out Saturday afternoon.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Well,
sleeping on the bank and shit, like crazy.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you gotta be very careful.
And they'll always plane out through there.
Yeah.
We pay good money. Like
And then- and it sucks
the register
because-
our boats and fishing.
I'm calling my
license.
boy with a jet boat. Like, get me the fuck out of here, bro.
That's my next move with jet boat.
And
Jet boat's definitely my next move.
My boy Gromster's got that freaking
Yeah.
custom tracker with that. I think it's a 700cc jet ski motor mounted in it.
Oh, he did a jet John.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Dude,
want
this
to build
thing-
one of those.
dude, you had to have seen it.
I have. He built
It's the
that thing.
loud ass 2-stroke tracker boat that'll.
I
pitch
met
you.
him.
But
I met him.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
He's a
Gromster.
good dude too. I
Yeah.
had him on video. I don't know. He's on one of my videos. I couldn't tell you which one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I met him.
And
It was
anything-
loud. It sounded like,
It
you sound
is.
like the handlebars like this,
It-
right?
And he's got the steering right.
Oh,
here
that's
on
right.
the
You're right.
shaft
Yeah,
on the side here.
yeah. I'm pretty
It
sure.
is
I met
a
him.
really sick build, but like if I ever get stuck, like Gromster's the first one I'm calling.
There's a new guy that moved on my street. I haven't met him yet. This guy, like, I gotta meet this dude. He's got, first of all, he's got a John boat, like a duck boat with a mud motor on it. Then the other day he showed up. He had this trailer on his truck, and it had like a Rhino with like tank treads on it, and a John boat strapped to the roof. So I'm
What?
like, who the hell is this? I gotta
And
meet.
where
he's
are
gonna
you
be my video.
going? Like, what are you
Any,
doing?
anywhere he wants to go, he's going. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So like, I gotta meet this guy. He just moved on my street like a month or two ago, and like he shows up like, oh, he's like, I don't know who he is, but I
Yeah,
gotta
I'll
meet
take
him.
one.
I gotta meet this dude. Yeah.
That was empty.
Rob, you need one?
No, I'm good right now. Thank you.
I guess I'm gonna try one.
So Martin says here, Paul says that boat, dude, Adam's boat is badass. I think it's freaking sick, dude. Run up to Susquehanna, bro. You
pretty
freaking, you're
sure-
like rocks, right? Just bam.
I'm pretty sure I met him, dude. I'm pretty
But
sure.
I think you have. That boat is hard to mistake.
Build me one of those one day, dude.
That's badass. They need to launch better at Solstice. We have had higher draws jump in the line because they are halfway up the canal.
I actually agree with that.
Need to
I
look
agree with
at
that. I think what they should do.
I had trouble getting out in time to weigh my fish.
What they should,
Yeah.
What they should do is they should launch. Like, there should be a launch boat at the mouth, and then you just go.
Yeah.
They should have everyone go to the mouth. You roll out in order. And I get it, it's a tight space. But I mean, when there's 30 boats in Joppatown,
That's a
You
lot.
gotta do.
Dude, that's a lot of
You gotta
boats,
do the
too.
different
It's a lot of
flights. They all have different flights.
there should be flights.
There should be
Honestly, there
flights,
should
yeah.
be. So, Greg, if you're still on, not trying to say anything bad, but we love the tournament. Just one thing that might make it a little bit better. Still going to fish it either way. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, I'm.
I mean, dude, I thought.
If you don't show up next Friday, thank you, because I'm winning that.
I mean, dude, honestly, that's
So you
part
come
of
in second.
Same to you.
I gotta win one, man. I haven't won one yet. I've got a
Oh, you didn't get a. You
not a
I
solstice.
thought you did.
I fished
Oh,
the
not a
solstice.
solstice.
Yeah, I fished the
Oh.
solstice 3 times. I've got a 2nd place finish and a 3rd place finish.
So I've learned also too with tournament fishing for I don't know how many people go ahead and don't fish a whole lot of them, but always where you fishing. Even even if you don't have enough to. So like we fished the Ike Foundation tournament and we did not do good. What we call a limit.
Dude, you guys did pretty decent.
We never
There was
caught a
people
kicker.
that freaking didn't get nothing.
Well, that's my point. We wasn't even on the way of fishing, and then we weigh them in and we were like a top 50. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
So,
And
like regular fishing, either way.
You should here's my thing. I agree with you 100%. Always weigh your fishing, and the reason for that is if you
even if you got one fish.
I always weigh mine. I don't care if it's 12 inches.
Yeah.
I fished 2 of the Conowingo Opens last year. Super tough days for the whole field. I weighed in one 14-inch fish twice, like in 2 tournaments in a row. And I was like, you know what? And I didn't get last. Now points doesn't matter.
That's my thing. You didn't get last.
Right, but it's like you know what? I was out
If
here.
you ain't first, you're
Right,
last.
like I'm
Right.
out here busting.
You don't weigh your fish in, you ain't placing nothing.
You just wasted what you come
Exactly.
out
It's like I'm out here busting my ass to try to catch fish. You know what? If I only got 2 or 3, I'm gonna weigh them in. It's just there's no reason not to.
I'd rather weigh my fishing and say I came in 50th than people ask me how you doing that tournament and say I don't know, I didn't weigh my fishing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather know how I did. At least you know how you placed. Like,
So-
but the first, what I was getting at was first solstice. I didn't weigh my fishing. I should have. Because I probably would have did pretty well. I know I didn't have enough to win.
When I got 2nd place in my first solstice, I had 1 fish.
Right, yeah.
One, and it was like 3.5 pounds. But that was 1 fish.
Yeah,
Jesus.
well, it's only a 3 fish limit.
Right.
And it's only, what, 3 hours?
I wasn't gonna weigh it in. And then I was actually
Glad
fishing
you
that.
did.
I was fishing with my uncle, and he's like, "Why would you not weigh it in?" Right?
The car?
Yes. Right? And I'm like, "Yeah, screw it, we'll weigh it in." It was like that was my 2nd or 3rd tournament ever. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll weigh it in. Screw it."
Paul
Yeah.
says he had a guy dump 15 pounds out at Northeast once, and it would have been second.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
15? Why would you not weigh in 15 pounds ever?
I ain't gonna win.
Come on, man.
Because
That's-
15 pounds ain't shit.
Because 15 pounds ain't shit.
15 pounds is a good bag, but you know what they say up there. It's going to take
Some
over
people-
20 to win.
Some people
I don't
say,
care. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well,
I'm
If it's
always
going to, I don't care if it's
Hold
going to take
on.
over 20 to win. If I got 15 pounds of weight in it.
what do some people say?
15 pounds ain't shit.
They say that 15 pounds ain't
Dude,
shit.
this is like a popsicle, except for adults. I'm telling you.
That's good.
I know.
Popsicle
I
for
know.
adults.
It really is.
It's like a cream
Rob, you gotta
beer.
try one before you
I
go.
will. I definitely will. I got
So, and I mean, I guess we're also talking about doing the solstice next week, bro.
Yeah, I gotta start
Next
Well,
week, man.
It's
And
summer
that's on a
solstice.
Friday, and we ain't making it back for the Bass and Beer Radio show.
No.
See,
after the
see.
solstice.
See what Paul said? That's what I'm saying. Up there, because it was 18 to be in the money.
Right.
So he only had 15. It was like he thought it was 18 to be in the money.
right.
So he just dumped his fish out. No, don't ever do that, man. Weigh your fish in.
Put yourself on
Like
the
Tony
board,
said,
bro.
even if you got one, weigh it in. You never know. Not only that, but you put yourself on the board.
I just
Right.
laid in for
Yeah.
pride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. It's like I understand. Like at one time, like coming out of college and in college, like I had aspirations to try to state team, Bassmaster Opens, freaking BFLs, and then it was like, you know what? Like I just don't have time. You know, but I still want to be as good of a fisherman as I can.
Yeah.
As much time as I spend, like if all I get is that one fish, that's what I get.
Yeah.
But think about how much better it
There's
is
no
when
shame
you
in
weigh
that,
in
though.
5 fish for a good limit versus the last 2 or 3
So-
tournaments you weighed in 2.
You know when the dirt, you know when you're like, oh, we might have a chance. And you know when you don't. But even when I'm like, oh, we ain't got no chance, I'm like, we're still weighing them in.
Right.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to see how we did.
Right.
See how we did.
Yeah.
And then it was funny, like our tournament, we had a bad tournament. We didn't catch them.
Mhm.
Or apparently we called them all right, but we didn't feel like we called them. And we weighed them in and we placed decent. At first we was kind of like, let's go. Let's stay away I'm in, and we did. And I'm glad we did. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, that the solstice last year, we only had like 6.5 pounds. And I'm like, somebody's going to have 10 to 12 pounds.
I don't think they did though, did they?
No,
What it was like 8 or something.
it
Yeah.
was enough for
You
us
were
to get
third, right? Because I think
Yeah.
Evan and Jake came in second. Now I forget who took first.
Somebody I'd never really seen
Yeah, they
fish out
don't know
there.
who it was either. I think it was about 8 or 9 pounds. More. But it's a gunpowder. It's 3 hours, 3 fish.
You just never know.
You catch like.
I mean, what if you got like here's the thing.
3 pounders. You got a bag.
Right. No,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Yeah.
Well, the thing about that place too is you could go out there, and let's say you go out and launch at 5, and 5:30 is slack tide.
That's the problem.
Right. That's why you weigh your fish in, because
Right.
you
If it's
catch,
slack, man,
right.
good luck.
You catch 2 for 4 pounds, and everybody half the field comes in with nothing.
You could probably. No, I ain't gonna say that. Too much juice. Never mind.
Too much
Never mind.
So
But on slack, I can get like 6 pounds out of 3 fish. No, not even that. Maybe about 3.5 pounds out of 3 fish.
I do gotta
Even
say,
doing slack, you gotta. You
I
might
think
know.
it fishes a lot better. Obviously, it fishes better on low tide, but sometimes on the
Alcohol.
incoming tide,
I'll go with you.
I like
tide,
it that way.
I know. We talked about this before. The flooded tide is what kills me. Dude.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
all.
I can't stand the flooded tide. Yeah, they move right. So what I
I've
have
been flooded
learned
a lot recently.
not to give up too much, but what I have learned on that flooded tide, the steeper banks. Because the water doesn't flood up and they don't move. So the fish that are on those steeper banks are still there because it never gets like where the kayakers drag their kayaks through. That gets anybody. I don't give up too much, but those steeper banks like that. Yeah, it floods back in the quarry and all that. I think they go all up and where that it goes over to Little Falls and all that crap. Like,
Right.
Yeah. And then there's 4 snakeheads too. So
That's my favorite place in that whole area is the Quarry Canal. But I've caught them there a couple times, but it's consistently for me. It's
you mean the main canal?
Yes, the main canal.
So I always call I don't know how.
Technically, Little Gunpowder.
Well, y'all got me on here, so I guess it's kind of a gunpowder show a little bit. So, so I always call it you got the canal, you got Days Cove, then you got the Clearwater side.
Yes.
I always call it. You got the pond, you got the quarry.
Right.
And then there's Foster Branch, of course.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's, you catch them up in Little Falls because.
Well, so I think what you're calling it is the main canal is where.
So Little Falls is you go farther
where we
up on the
fished
clear.
last time.
Yeah, that's the main canal. That's just the canal.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
I love fishing in there.
That's my favorite spot too.
But I don't catch them there really good.
It's not always good there,
Yeah.
but you can catch them there when it's right. Yeah.
I think the thing about the gunpowder is I like the fact that it is a challenging fishery, and it is a challenging fishery because those fish have so many places to go, and the places for them to go is not far. Think about how long it takes you on a trolling motor.
Oh, they move.
Right.
Move.
But think about how long it takes you on a trolling motor to get to the mouth of the main canal to Clearwater.
Yeah.
20 minutes, right?
If that.
Right.
Yeah.
And a fish can swim as fast as your boat can troll.
Right.
That's no problem. So those fish can move so easily. I mean,
right.
And
this is shallow water.
Right.
So it ain't like there's a whole bunch of deep spots that they're moving out to. Now there's a couple, I don't know if I should say this or not. There's a couple spots in the pond offshore under the water that just watch a Bassmaster episode and see what Davey Hike did.
Right, yeah, right. No, absolutely.
Yeah. But other than that, there's not like a whole lot of offshore fishing there. It's shallow water, power fishing. You can fish grass, lay downs.
There is offshore, but it's
and
not
there's current.
It's not close.
So they really messed it up a few years ago when they started messing with that Route 40 bridge and messing the current up. The current used to come down the falls
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
They put that Jersey wall up when they started working on that bridge up here, right up out here, Joppa Town. They put up that Jersey wall, whatever they call those things, when they're working on it, mess the current up. Before that, the current come flowing down the Clearwater
Like the
side.
buoys that go around to stop debris from coming down, or
Nah, So they were doing something with the Route 40 bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah, for like the last 2 or 3 years
like
they've been working on it.
way up there.
Yeah, they put those steel walls.
Yeah.
in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so they could stop the water or whatever
Yeah.
to work on the bridge or whatever. But
Supports.
before that, about maybe 3-4 years ago, oh, that current. After a good rain, you go down there, and that current, I remember throwing, I would go up and just let the current take me, and I would throw out in front of anything and just let the current take my bait. And any lay down or rock or it went past, just snatched up dude. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Should we tell them about our goal in one of the Thursday night tournaments?
No.
Is it the win? Because that's my goal.
It's actually not.
It's
actually
not the win?
No.
It's not.
Is it to run me over?
No.
Okay.
I think we should just tell them.
Yeah, I want to know.
I kind
now.
of want, dude. I kind of want to weigh in a smallmouth at one of the tournaments.
Oh, me and Evan weighed in a smallmouth at the Ike tournament.
Did you?
Did you really?
Yeah, he was all about it. When I put out, so my next video will be the footage from that.
Oh, that's awesome.
And
Oh,
Ike.
yeah.
So it was funny because right before us was the guy that weighed in right before us weighed in the first smallmouth for the whole tournament.
Mhm.
And we had one in the bag. And Ike went off somebody's weighing a smallmouth. That's awesome. It's a Chesapeake smallmouth and all. And then here come me and Evan. He was like, these guys got a small mouth too, but it looks like he had a rough life.
But yeah, no.
How did that was live though?
Could you imagine?
It was postponed. It was beat up.
Yeah.
It looked like someone might have hit it with a bow.
Could you imagine the
Pretty
reaction
smoked
if you weighed in a smallmouth in one of the Thursday nighters?
You could if you go. You know what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm not gonna say it.
That's what
on
I'm.
air,
I,
but,
I just one time, honestly, just because it would be funny.
You get your boat up there.
Not me. You can get his up there though.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
I get mine.
What the fucking jack play do that? Jack.
I got a little boat with a jack plate. Come on, man. You know what else I got? I got worms.
So do we.
But
Oh, you got a jack plate on there with the Atlas?
I got the on the fly jack plate on.
I got the Atlas on mine.
Is that the hydraulic one?
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah.
electric
Mine's
one?
hydraulic, dude.
Does that have tilt too? It was
Well, I have tilt and trim on my motor, and then I have the hydraulic jack plate as well.
No shit.
Oh, yeah, man. I put a winch on the boat too. I was watching Keith Poche.
oh, that's so awesome.
Keith
That is the
Poche
best series ever.
Off the Grid
Yes.
is the best YouTube series
Yeah.
ever. You see the one where he shot the snakes with the gun?
No.
He had a gun. He's trying to jump one of those beaver dams. He always jumps. It's
Right.
water moccasins. So he pulls out a pistol, starts shooting them.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's the coolest dude in the world.
Yeah, we were doing some shit like that on Monday. I don't know if we showed. I don't think we sent it to Rob. I have to send you the video. But we were in a creek that
Oh yeah, we gotta show you that.
the water, Rob, was as wide as this table, and we're getting the boat back in there,
Oh, yeah.
trying to see if it
You
opens
know, I
up.
go in skinny water.
Yeah.
It was
My brother's worse than me. He gets me in all kind of trouble. I'm like, I don't think it's a good idea. He's like, nah, we can make it.
The tide's coming.
Yeah.
The tide's coming.
Yeah.
We'll be fine.
No, I'll never forget one time we went up this river. We're all the way up this river, and it starts being rapids and stuff. And I'm the whole time I'm telling him, this is my older brother, right? So I was like, this is a bad idea, right? He's like, nah, we're good. So we get up there, and the rapids catch the boat, and it turns it, and we start heading right toward this tree. So I'm like, I'm a little bit scared. He goes, yeah, me too. I'm like, you just told me we were gonna be all right. You're my older brother. You're supposed to be looking out for me. He's like, I'm scared too. You made it through though. but I thought we were gonna die. I was scared to death. But he's worse than me, dude. He'll go.
So, have you ever been up on the rocks in Catalingo, up in the rocks?
We went up pretty far, but not but
Did you go
above the
past-
dam, right? Not
Yeah.
below.
Did you go past? If you go up on the right side, did you go past the power plant?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you mean almost up to the other dam.
Yes.
Oakland. Oh yeah, been up there.
Have you been in the middle? So you go up and then go over.
I don't know. I was with my brother, and I was like, "Dude, this is a bad idea." He was like, "All right,
It
no
is a
full throttle."
I do it all the time. I do it a lot, and it's a bad idea.
Yeah,
It's a bad idea every time, no matter what.
Yeah,
Every
So
time,
more-
you hit the throttle, I questioned it. I'm like, be a giant boulder at any time.
right. That's how I feel. So I told him, this might be a bad idea. He's like, nah, we'll be all right. Yeah.
There's fish up there.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll make it. Please, this ain't nothing.
So, The first time people say if you're gonna go up in the rocks, you gotta go with somebody who knows it. And I've tried to schedule the trip to go with somebody who knows it, and it just never worked out. So what did I do? Hammer down.
Right.
If I hit something, I hit something.
Sound like my brother, dude.
Insurance claim.
The whole time up
right.
there.
I ain't got insurance.
So when I went up there, right, the pumping station was pumping water, and Holtwood had like half the gates open. So you get into separate like current breaks. So I'm riding up there, and the back of the boat's doing this. Like the boat is going like this. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is horrible.
Right.
Like,
That's why I'm good. Like, Tony, can we go back, please?
because I'm like wide open, and I'm like, dude, this is insane. Like, and it is insane. I mean, it's like the lost ark up there. Like, I mean, I got a friend of mine who's an Eagle Scout. He said they used to go up there all the time, and they would kayak out to the islands.
He can tie some pretty good knots.
You can, but they would
I was
literally,
a Boy Scout.
like, they would literally go to these islands, and they would just find like all kinds of Native American like artifacts,
Yeah.
arrowheads, like everything.
Dude,
It's
there's like boulders under the water, like bigger than like this room. Dude.
if you go up in
Yeah,
those
that's scary. Dude.
the
Yeah,
southern. The southernmost set of islands, I know how to get in there. If you get in there, there is houses on those islands.
Really?
Like really little houses that you can only get to by boat. They don't have electricity. It's all solar powered.
Yep.
So
Really?
it's cool. Like I've caught fish up there. Never.
Now I want to go up there and see that now.
I got videos. I have to send it to you.
Yeah.
But it's super cool up there.
And the water's probably crystal clear.
Wow, let's go up
It
there.
depends. I mean,
Yeah. It was,
the thing about Conowingo is, as much as you think that it's always going to be crystal clear, and in certain areas it usually is clearer than others. The
Right.
main is just whatever the main is that day, because
Yeah.
there's always shit coming downstream.
Yeah, it always amazes me how big that river is.
Oh, it's
You know what I
awesome.
mean? Like when you go to cut across it, like if you launch at Broad Creek and you want to cut across to that other creek, which kind of Wingo Creek or whatever.
Yeah, 5-hole.
Right. Damn, man, it's a big river.
Right. No,
Yeah.
it's pretty.
Yeah.
Like it's actually the biggest lake in Maryland. Everyone says Deep Creek Lake, but if you actually factor in the entire thing,
Between Conowingo and Hopewell, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's giant. Dude.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, way bigger than Deep Creek.
Big.
And look, the dog's getting upset because he's like, first he don't want me to take the ball, but if I don't try to take it, he growls at me. Look, see, watch him I try to take it. He likes that. But if I don't,
she loves tug of war, but
watch this. Now,
she'll
if you
play.
stop playing, oh, now you stop. See, it's like, come on, play tug of war. So look.
see, Paul says it's usually not clear, and that's the thing. It usually
Really?
isn't clear. Not
Yeah.
like in the summertime it can get clear, and in the wintertime is when you're really going to find it the clearest. But it's usually what the water clarity is of Joppa, but worse, honestly.
Right.
Really, that's.
I mean, I've been up there at times when it's like disgusting. Like you'll see like RV trailers floating down the river, like for real.
Really?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
I've seen some
RV
crazy
trailers.
shit. I've seen some crazy shit floating down that river, like whole trees, like picnic benches, like all kinds of crazy shit.
Wow.
So you definitely have to be careful. Like today, where we launched at Glen Cove. It was like a minefield everywhere you went. Like
Mag draft. I was asking.
no, this here is
that's the old mag draft.
that's
that's
the
a bad
Alabama
guy.
rigged whopper flopper.
Oh yeah, I call a bunch of that.
in,
Alabama.
in the black back. That's a deadly color.
Yeah. You know, Chris Aldane's coming out with a better. Now that he's with Guggen's squad,
What's your opinion on Googan?
they
We
suck.
don't. We
Here we
don't
go.
Coogan sucks.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
So Chris Aldane's coming out with the rough draft,
The
which is his
rough
version.
draft.
Is that actually what it's called?
I believe that's what he said it would be called. Forgive me if
It's
I'm
not
wrong,
good.
but
It's not called
Holy
the rough
crap.
draft. There's no way he would call it the rough.
it's called the rough draft right now because it's not done yet.
Yeah.
It's still in design, but it's
You
you know Guggen is they just knock off other baits. Like
Go
York.
online right now and try to find a picture of that bait. He posted it one time, and they got so much shit for it, they took it off the internet.
They should, dude. Like, come on. They're not doing nothing new. They're just making everybody. You know that.
I think they got a different harness in it. So essentially, what you put a freaking heavier weighted beast hook on it.
They're buying.
That's how
They're
I feel
buying
about
up a
it.
lot of companies. Guggen. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like Bass Mafia. They brought Bass Mafia. They own Bass Mafia now.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're talking about buying even
Why?
bigger
It's because
companies
it's a
than that.
fucking Walmart across the fucking.
Well,
United
that
States
and
of
it's
America.
like if you like, I do a lot
$5
of my,
for a crankbait.
I do a lot of my shopping for
it's
tackle.
it's a DT6 called a G76.
It's a freaking,
You know,
it's
whatever.
a DT6 with autism.
Well,
Right, yeah.
So I do a lot of my shopping at Dick's because it's 5 minutes away, right? So
Right,
like
yeah.
you can't go.
Sucks.
They have an entire.
Sometimes you can get something.
They're anti-gun.
That is true. They have a whole aisle of Guggen everything. There's Guggen Whopper Ploppers.
It's almost all that's in there anymore. I've seen
Right.
that.
There's Guggen Ned Rigs.
Excuse me, a Google
Like-
Whopper Plopper?
Right. Right.
Look, I can't say too much. Somebody is listening right now that will say the Google Whopper Plopper is fire. I just
You're
say
true,
that.
it is so right.
I don't
You know
fish
what?
it. I don't fish it, but I know somebody who
Yeah.
loves it. That's all I'm saying. How's it different than the real Whopper Plopper? I don't know.
Right. It's
Yeah.
sure. Right.
Yeah.
Paul says
Well, you know,
everyone.
it started out with, what it started out, what's that big soft plastic back in the day Scott Martin was always promoting when it
The
first
banjo
started?
now.
Hey,
The
that
Crack and Crawl or whatever the hell it was called. It was like the Strike King. It was the Strike King, but they had like another name for it. It was basically the Strike King. Or the, I wish I could remember the names. But either way, that's how they started. They took all the baits that were hot that caught fish and just made their own version of it and put Google on it. They're still doing the same thing.
And Paul's comment's true. Is everyone does copy everyone, but like I feel like at some point,
That's the old argument, though.
The-
Serious, honestly. Like, Paul, where's the innovation, though? Like,
Yeah.
there's some innovation.
I mean, okay, so like not to like settle with Guggen because I cannot stand Guggen, but it's like when it comes to crankbaits and jerkbaits and soft
It's
plastics,
all the
how much
same.
more
That's what Paul's
innovation can
saying.
you have?
You never know. That's the thing.
What more can you
Yeah.
do?
Never
You know,
say.
you can go on eBay or whatever. You can buy those like freaking lures that have the little electric motors that just swim all by themselves.
Well, now you get
Like-
too innovative for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, how innovative do you want to get?
I'm just
But
gonna throw,
when you make a bait that literally,
I mean,
exactly like this, with the look down eyes and everything, and then you're like,
But you're, I
oh,
mean, like, you do have a good point. Like, but you know, the shower blow. Let's not talk about shower blow. But like the Vixen is not that much different than the Spook. But it is at the
different
same time.
sound.
sure.
Yeah, a Spook is not a Vixen.
A spook
Although
is
they are
the
kind of
OG.
similar, but they built
It's
off
like the
of
same action,
yeah.
but dude, a lot of lures work a lot easier than other lures. They
Right,
have
or
different sounds. You got double
or like
knobs,
a
single
Mega
knob.
Bass 110 is not a Rapala jerkbait. You know what I mean?
No, hell,
For-
well,
catch it. Dude, look at my boat. You
Right.
can find a repellent jerk.
But-
No.
and if we're gonna shit on
But
Guggen,
Stunner is a Mega Bass 110.
I was literally just gonna say that. I was
Right.
just gonna say if we're gonna flame Guggen, which I love to do, we
You gotta do the
also
rest of the company.
you gotta flame Berkeley for the stunner, and
Yeah.
then the El Chapo, which is basically a
Oh,
water
Berkeley has
Right,
done
yeah, Berkeley,
a lot more
Berkeley.
than dude. Berkeley did the JTM,
Well,
the Gilly.
But you know what
The
they
Gilly
have?
was
Yeah,
originally
I
a
know.
JDM lure.
Come on, man.
Dude, I was on hookup tackle. I even talked to Ben on the hookup
But-
tackle about it. I was like,
Oh, you talked to Ben?
yeah.
Oh, we should have him on the show. Like it's my show. We should have Ben
If-
on the show.
If Ben would call in and talk to us for 5 minutes, I would pay him. That would be sick as shit.
Well,
All the
we'll
way
talk
out in
later.
freaking
We'll talk
Arizona.
later. Yeah, but you know, like, oh,
But like,
He's
up there.
That'd be
Out
wild.
there.
yeah,
Yeah, Ben, have you watched the Hookup Tackle show?
no.
Oh, that dude.
They
is
have
like
good stuff.
taco,
I'm serious,
tackle,
bro, like a lot.
tackle or taco.
Taco Tahoe.
You know who I really like? If I had to pick someone who I align with the most in fishing, it's David Dudley.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, he
Because-
hasn't been posted a lot.
Because David Dudley is so like detailed when it comes to conventional fishing, but it's not like now this jig must have exactly 13 strands of blue. It's like, look, man, here's your standard black and blue jig. If it's a football head, guess what? It's a
you
football
see the
head,
one
right?
where he was like it's like casting, right? He's like, right now it's coming through the living room. There it comes through the kitchen. And then he throw it back out. He's like, through the living room again. Oh, breakfast time. Like, that's another one. It was hilarious, dude.
So who's gonna read Paul's comment because none of us.
I'll do it.
Okay, because this is gonna be funny.
I most days, I mostly hate Guggen because the owners or previous owners are giant douchebags.
I gotta go pee on that.
That got YouTube famous from pond fishing and thought they were the greatest bass fishermen in the world. Fully agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. I completely agree with that 150%. I could actually not agree with you more. The only.
I mean, how, dude? Okay, so let's be real though. Like, yes, it was really stupid what they did. No, I don't like them, and they suck asshole. But
They
really like grabbed it by the balls
Yeah.
and did their thing. And
The
now
only
they're
person
millionaires.
who I actually liked who was on that whole train was Lake Fork guy, because he actually fished out of a boat on a public lake that's pressured, Lake Fork, obviously, and he was a good fisherman. Now I don't know if he did a lot of tournaments, but like Lake Fork guy was in there, and he would do boat videos, and he wasn't just like, I'm gonna go to this my grandma's friend's pond and catch these 6-pound bass that I haven't seen a lure in ever.
Sounds like The Rock on Facebook.
No, Lake Fork guy's okay.
Rock Johnson.
Like Lake Fork guy's fine, but like these other guys, like
Well, you know, like
John B.
Have you seen those posts?
what's the one that everybody hates? I can't remember his name now.
AP Bassin. So it's AP.
No, it's the one that started fishing tournaments. What's the Lake Fork guy?
Is he Guggen?
Yeah, it's Guggen. He started fishing like Toyota Series or the NPFL or something.
John B?
Nah, the one that was in the military, like a sniper dude. Come on,
I should
somebody
know
help me
that.
out.
Dude, if I buy enough
Somebody help me
product,
out.
I could probably be in the Guggen squad too, bro.
I think his real name's Rob. It's Lake Fork guy, AP Bass, and John B. The dude from Maryland. The one guy's from Maryland. You know that, right?
No,
The Asian guy.
One rod, one reel.
Yeah, he's back in it or whatever. But then there's
well, he's not really from Maryland.
what the hell is his?
He fishes lock radio on the heights.
Does he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What the hell is that? What's his name? The one that like Lunkers TV. That's his name, Lunkers.
Lunkers. Oh
yeah. Everybody hates him.
They used to have. He had his own line on Favorite for a while.
Yeah.
I don't mind Favorite gear, but like Favorite is a little much for me. I have a couple of their rods.
I got a couple of those too.
They're okay, but like
we're really stretching it here.
when you
Favorite rods are
about
okay.
favorite, bro.
here's the thing about Favorite.
I got soft plastic paddle tail swim baits worth more than favorite rods back.
Here's the thing about Favorite. Like Favorite.
No, the guy that tried to get Luke Duncan fired. Oh, you might be right, Paul. But I thought that was the guy from MLF that tried to get Luke Duncan fired, if I'm not mistaken. Paul knows what I'm talking about.
I don't follow Guggen baits at all. Like
You follow Luke Duncan that Paul's talking about? You ever watch Luke Duncan?
I like have a very so you want to. Here's my lineup for like YouTube fishing. Is the guys that run Team Marine. If you're not familiar with Team Marine, they make really good in-depth bass boat reviews and stuff like that. Riverboat Rob, if you guys haven't heard of Riverboat Rob, no, but like
Riverboat Rob?
It used to be Shallow Water Shogun. If you know,
you know that?
fuck yeah, I know that. Are you
Shit.
kidding me,
Shit.
dude? I remember when Maryland Bass Fishing episode 2 dropped.
Nice.
You know why?
I
Because I
appreciate
watched episode 1 and I'm like, I know these spots. I gotta keep watching this guy.
Hey, dude,
Like,
Tom, I don't know how you say Tom's last name, but you know Tom and Brian that always fish the jerseys together. Brian Dyson, Tom, what's
Right.
it? Rob.
Brian Dyson, my boy.
Oh, Brian, you
Oh,
boy?
dude, I love freaking
where's
Brian.
Brian at, dude?
Dude, I
But,
wish
But like episode 2 or 3, like I meet Tom, and Tom's like, "Man, showing all the good spots, dude. Stop it." I was like, "These aren't secret spots."
Right. It's a canal. Like,
yeah,
It's a canal.
Like,
Like,
not secret spots. We're cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's my boy. But at first, he's like,
but yeah, no, I remember back when it was a Shallow
Brian's
Water
your
Shogun
boy?
days.
Oh yeah, dude, I freaking dude. Brian's my boy. I
But,
love Brian.
It's
I want to get Brian on the show.
But I mean, it's
He's got
pretty
5
much. But yeah, it's
yeah,
Team
just pick up
Marine.
that nitro.
It's Team Marine. It's Riverboat Rob, and then it's Tactical Bassin. That's
Oh, you like
pretty
that?
much
Yeah,
it. Like,
yeah.
that's-
Tim Little and Matt Allen.
And the only reason I really like,
You don't watch
Tactical
Keith O'Shea? Oh, come on.
I do
Really
watch Keith
talk
O'Shea,
about it. Yeah.
but that's almost more of like a. It is a fishing channel, like the off the grid, but it's almost more of like, let's see if we can do this. You know, let's see if we can take
He's like
this.
jumping beaver dams
It's
and
so
shooting
fucking
snakes.
cool.
Great, dude. I love him. So I watch a lot of podcasts. Like I watch Bass Talk Live all the time. Now watch Let's Talk Fish with Brian Thrift and Matt Airy. Stray Cast. Watch Stray. Have you watched his podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's got podcasts. Him and Matt Airy do one together. It's called Let's Talk Fish. It's really good. Now watch the Stray Cast podcast a lot. And other than that, I just try to keep up with the tournaments.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Tactical Bass is really good.
Tactical
really
for
good.
the tackle info. And of course, I follow
Matt
the local shows. I don't know if you want.
Matt Allen is the Messiah.
And Paul's gonna be like, yeah, another douchebag. I watch Smallmouth Crush. So
I watched Smallmouth Crush.
He's all right.
So
Yeah.
he's got Epic Eric on there. Epic
Yeah.
Eric's my boy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you're a tackle junkie. If you haven't talked to Epic Eric yet, you have to.
Yeah, I need to talk to. What do you think? I would
I've talked
definitely,
to him
I would
once or
definitely need to
twice.
talk to Epic
He'll
Eric.
talk tackle all day, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've talked
So
to him once.
those guys are actually pretty cool. Like Travis. Paul's going to get on me and forget it, dude, because Paul will. Paul will be like, no, he's a dick. So
I've never seen him out there, which is crazy. As much as I fish,
I met him for the first time in person the other day, actually.
Travis is such a homo.
Told you. That's why I had to shut up because I knew Paul was going to jump on it. Because I posted a picture like me and Travis the other day.
Right.
And Paul replied, he's like, who's that douchebag you were saying?
that's awesome.
But Eric's cool, is he not, Paul? Paul will tell you, like Epic Eric, being a tackle junkie like you are.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you got to talk to him.
Yeah, we definitely have.
He had Ben. They had Ben on there.
Did they?
Oh, yeah,
Did Ben have a Ben had Epic Eric or Epic Eric had Ben?
Travis and Epic Eric had Ben as a guest on there.
That's tight.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
if you ain't watched
The
that,
tackle
episode,
talk,
watch
I
it.
definitely gotta watch that episode.
So
dude.
remember they did those packages you could buy or whatever, those boxes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Ben put one together for Eric and sent it to Eric, and then he came
Yeah.
on the show to talk about what was in the box. It was like $1,000 box. Yeah.
Dude, you know it's pretty amazing how quickly the hookup tackle like freaking turned on YouTube.
Dude,
they
he's-
just
Ben's just
started
cool.
the channel a year ago.
Ben's cool as hell, dude.
Yeah, man.
Like just watch
He's
it.
the
and be like,
number
"Wow."
one mega bass dealer in America.
Well, they got. I mean, every week it's like, oh, we got
Yeah,
all
man.
these exclusive colors you can't get nowhere else. I
Well-
think they have certain mega bass baits and jackal baits or colors that they design.
Only for hookup tackle.
Right? Yeah, you
That
can't
is
get them
it.
nowhere else.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So I mean, like, not
you
trying to
really
give up.
are a tackle.
I'm
junkie.
not. Listen, I'm not trying to give up all my juice, yo. But if you ain't checked out the Hookup Tackle USA to check out some JDM baits that you ain't never seen before, and what the guy next to you has never thrown before,
Oh, I'll throw it.
you
What
might
is it?
have,
Yeah.
but he hasn't.
Right. He's okay with a rusty hook and
That's right. And a Ford Taurus.
and a
coming.
robo worm, dumping the boat in with the Ford Taurus.
That's
and
right.
a robo worm.
Yep.
Definitely check out the Hookup Tackle USA. But hey,
Have you thrown the bounty fish?
the bounty.
There you go.
Okay, see what I'm talking
You don't
about?
know?
Look, we're getting a little bit late into our broadcast now.
I gotta be up.
It's 9:52.
Oh yeah, I gotta go fishing.
We got some homies got to wake up in the morning, go fishing, and we got some Bass and Beer members that have a name to make up on the kind of window.
Shit. Yeah, we'll see. We'll
So, but man, grab a pack of these freaking things, man. Throw them up, man. These things are
Can I
sweet.
have this one right here?
see.
These freaking bass munitions, South Holston worms. I got Morning Dawn. I got Blue Fleck. I got Tequila Sunrise. Man, we got freaking Smoke Purple. You name it, we got it here on the table.
Yeah,
Black and blue flake.
everybody's like talking about how they be smoking Travis on the word. It's like Travis, all it does is drop shot.
And
Which is
here is the original. The little green worm and green pumpkin, Holston ST green pumpkin. This is the one that started the whole movement, gentlemen. You might want to grab a pack of these when you got some smallmouth.
Go to Bass Munitions. Check out Bass Munitions. No matter what you do, go to Bass Munitions. Check them out. Check out these worms. Right now in my hand, you're looking at the South Holston worm, the blue bluegill, 12 count. It's a 12 count worm pack. I'm telling you right now, these catch fish flat out. Don't doubt it. I've seen it
Oh.
in action.
Real quick, my wife is watching. Hi, love you.
Yeah, there you go.
She,
Good job,
she
yeah.
texted me. She watches. She ain't
I'll tell
coming.
you right now, that was the most important comment of the night.
It was.
I gotta get ready to go home to her.
All right, y'all. Like, dude, tonight before I turn it off, tonight went flawless, man. Once again, dude, thank you,
Man, I'd love to come back.
for coming
Anytime,
on
man.
tonight and
Anytime.
talking to us
Appreciate it, man.
tonight. We tried some different software tonight through Restream, and we got some different effects going. You look down at the bottom, it's got Bass Beer Radio. We got our logo going on if I want to put it on there. We're streaming to YouTube Live now. We are streaming to Twitch now. We are streaming to our Facebook page, and we are streaming to Instagram. We are streaming to 4 different platforms right now. If you guys are bored, we're on YouTube. If you guys are into Twitch, we're on Twitch. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We've been consistent for 4 months now. We're on here every Friday night. We're on here. We talk about some subjects. We bullshit. We have fun. We laugh. We appreciate everybody that supports us and watches. And we appreciate all likes, shares, and comments, especially to those that contribute to our conversations. That means a lot to us. And huge shout out to Bass Munitions, UMA Lure Company, and Tailored Lures.
Get you some frogs.
Get you some frogs, some tailored lures. Get you some freaking balsa wood custom crankbaits from UMA Lure Company. Get you. Whoa.
We'll talk about it later.
Oh, we'll get into that. Get you some soft plastics. We got drop shot worms, paddle tails, jig trailers, and pretty soon they're going to be dropping hooks, lead weights. Freaking look, he's about to run out the door. He's gone. Check these guys out, and thank you so much to everybody that supports us and watches. Tonight's episode was great, and you guys have been awesome. So
check out my YouTube if you get a chance.
Yeah,
Hopefully
man.
you guys have
Absolutely.
me back on.
No,
Yeah.
definitely,
Love to
man.
come back. At a good time.
absolutely.
Put all your baits
Go
back,
on
'cause
YouTube. Go on YouTube.
Riverboat
Check
Rob.
out Riverboat Rob, man. Riverboat Rob, you guys all seen him out there. He's one of the local hammers, and you guys better watch out in the solstice tournaments because this guy's coming.
I'm trying.
But so am I. So
Hey, look.
let's go. All right,
Hope you come in
y'all.
second.
Good night, guys.